Big up every single one of you guys. How we doing? I didn't mean to boo myself, but it's okay. We're booing because it's been a long time since Casually Chelsea show has been on. So big up to every single one of you. I appreciate you guys' patience. Life has been up and down and crazy, and apologies also for being late, ladies and gents. We were just in the background chatting up and catching up, you know. What friends do. And what friends also do is they also smash up the like button if you haven't done so already. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and also be sure to hype up the video if you're watching this in the future. If you're returning, hey, subscribe. Hey, it helps out big time. If you're a returning non-subscribed viewer, I know a lot of you out there are watching, not subscribed, wondering what we're going to talk about. It's not going to be conspiracy theories. I'll tell you that right now. But be sure to do all that stuff. Check out the memberships as well. It helps out the channel tremendously if you want to donate towards keeping this channel well, healthy, and thriving. I really appreciate it. First tier of the membership starts at 99p. So lots of good stuff for you guys there. And like I said, always a work in progress with those memberships. That we will get more perks as the channel grows. And like I said, we're almost at 4K, guys. It's not too far away. We could even do it today. If I believe in you guys in chat, if you want to help us get towards 4Ks, just hit that subscribe. We're really, really close. And then 5K, big goal, big reveal at 5K. That's the big goal that I want to try to hit before the end of 2026. And hopefully we can do that. Plenty of more content coming your way as well for the rest of the season, even after it ends, guys. So, all right. But yo, panel, I mean, it's been a while since we've chatted. I feel like it's been a while since we've had a nice little get together like this. That's not after a result. Talk about just Chelsea and all the great things happening at the club. How we doing, guys?
I'm doing great.
Not been focused too much on it, so yeah.
Doing well.
Life's good outside of Chelsea, boys?
Very good, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Recently, I got some, well, one of my hobbies went really well for me. Managed to get some science stuff related to that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Did you just get a promotion to Ahmed, or was that a while ago?
That was a few months ago, but
okay, no, all right. So
LG,
same
man,
promotion.
LG, man.
Yeah, and Oliver, everything's looking good on your end as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all good, thanks.
Sweet. All right, well, panel. Now that we've caught up, everything's been good outside of Chelsea. It's time to depress you guys, okay? Because the first thing I got to tell you guys about is that a certain someone we don't like at the club has actually hit 100 games.
Who's that?
Pedro Neto receives his plaque for playing 100 games at Chelsea Football Club, ladies and gents.
By the way? We never used to do that. I'm surprised we started.
We gotta do something. I don't know. They're changing it up or whatever. You never know. Hitting 100 at this current Chelsea team is a pretty big deal when you think about it.
It's pretty easy to 100 at Chelsea. I'll be honest, man. At this rate, so.
Tell that to KDH and Nkunku and João Felix.
Tell that Chimpong that.
Tell that Chimpong that one.
I think Nkunku got 100. I do think Nkunku got 100 appearances at the club, by the way. I'm not joking. I do think he got 100.
Who?
And Kuku didn't get 100 appearances. There's no
There's
way.
no chance. No.
There's no way. Maybe
can-
close to 50, but not over.
He had one full season where he wasn't injured.
Yeah.
But no, he was with us for 3 seasons. No, or was it? Or am I
No,
lying
it
to
was only
myself?
2
No,
seasons.
so he was here in the Poch season where he played like 5 games, and then
Yeah.
Maresca.
Yeah. And even under Maresca, he didn't play that much.
There's no
So
chance.
it was under. It was like.
If he made
under
100,
50,
if you can show me
anything.
proof of that, I'll be flabbergasted.
I'm
Yeah, I
looking at it
would be
right now, 1 second.
fabricated. It's not. Yeah, it's like under 100, Ahmed, or under 50, if anything.
It must be under 50.
It was like 42 games or appearances for Chelsea or some shit.
You can even throw in his preseason games. He won't be at 100. I
Yeah,
bet.
So 24, 25 is one of the reasons he's with us. So he had in total, he had 48 appearances last year in all competitions for us. And then the season before that, 23, 24, search.
48 appearances.
48 plus 14 is 62. You're like 62
Yeah.
plus. My bad.
All right, so
Is
it's
that
over
counting the
50,
Club World
actually
Cup, by the
surprised.
way?
Probably.
Yes, I think that probably does. It's for yes, it does.
Yeah, because that was the last competition he played in for us.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I didn't add the Club World Cup. Good point. Good point. No, yeah, you added the Club World Cup for me in the 25, 24, the previous season. So it's all good.
Ooh,
Thanks.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, good for Neto, I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't really care. I just want him gone. And hey, this showed up today. Like, the news lately has been pretty slow for Chelsea outside of conspiracy theories, people. So bear with me. But we're gonna do a catch up because it's been a little bit since everything's
Just wanna
been
say, Marshall,
dropping and all that stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
Before we move on, I just want to say, like, this isn't too much of a positive considering how things have gone for him, obviously. But
Yeah.
if you told me in 2024 that Wolves Neto would make 100 appearances in 2 seasons, my jaw would have been on the floor.
Oh, that's actually true because
With how injury-prone he used to be.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a really good point. But
Obviously,
I mean,
it hasn't
look,
worked out too well for us, but you know, still worth mentioning.
He's not been injury prone since he's joined Chelsea, but that's only a very small positive because looking at the other aspects of football, that's not just being available. It's not been that great. It's not been that great. So, hey, like I said, at the end of the summer, I hope he leaves. I hope we get a good fee for him, and we move from there. But who knows? Maybe careful what you wish for, Marshall. I don't know. I don't want to keep Neto, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to another club and he actually does well. Like, that wouldn't come as a surprise to me, but I don't think that's going to happen. But it could. I don't know how you guys feel about that before we move on.
I just don't think he suits us, firstly, and I also think it's very clear that as a player, he has declined under us. It's subjectively the facts of the matter.
Yeah, sure.
It is what it is, really. Big up to him, man, but unfortunately, he's not Chelsea level. Let's just keep it like that, man.
Yeah. EPL turf, I think people just don't like Neto just because they look at other wingers and how good they are, like Kvara, and, you know, he's not Kvara. He's not scoring you goals like Kvara did earlier this week. If you want to look at Vinicius, he's not dribbling past players like Vinicius does and stuff like that. So he's not the ideal level that we want for Chelsea. So people hate on it because, yeah, he has some good moments in games, I'll admit. But
there are multiple
Oliver.
facets to how people feel on Neto. You know,
yeah.
I feel like the narrative around him being a defensive workhorse completely overstated and overrated.
I agree with that.
And also the attitude stuff, the way he flails his arms about on the pitch and asks for passes and blames other people when he can't dribble. You know, it's
I
just
think his attitude stays.
you got to put it's just it's stuff like that. There's so many layers to it. If you only just watch us and actually notice it, you know.
Because like, I don't know. I can't speak for Portugal, but I do think if he goes to another club, he'll deal okay. He'll be all right. You know, I don't think he's shit. Like, I think Garnacho's shit, but Neto is pretty close. This season at least. There's a good player there. Maybe he declines from this point forward. Maybe he goes to another club, does well. I don't really care.
Rehabilitate himself, I'll be honest. He needs to go to Italy to rehabilitate himself. I'll be real.
Yeah, that's where all people go to rehabilitate themselves.
Look at Donny O'Marlin, man. Look at Donny O'Marlin. Honestly, he's actually, you know,
He didn't work out in the Prem.
Daniel Marlin's actually nasty because he's my guy, but like he definitely hurt the sport, man. He's hurt the sport there, man. That's even before we get to the escorts and like we've got Casually part 2. We've also got Casually going. By the way, you've got Casually there part 2 as well. So I don't know if you know that, by the way.
I did not know that.
Match fixing is going on there too now.
Oh yeah, in Serie A. Yeah, I heard about that actually. We could talk about that backstage, but yeah, Neto 100 appearances. Listen, where I stand right now, and I think where the panel stands, Summer, you can leave. We'll get someone else who's more consistently good. So that's just where I stand with Neto. He has his uses, but not at this Chelsea team. We move on to the next topic, which is some new rule changes that are going to be happening or rumored to be happening. And I think the first one is, I think we all strongly agree. Players who cover their mouths when confronting an opponent will be sent off this summer's World Cup. This is in wake of the incident between Vinicius and Prestiani in February. I agree. There's no need for it. Unless you're trying to avoid accountability for something you may have said. But I think, yeah, this needs to be prevented. This is one way to prevent it. You gotta be held accountable for what you say. Funny enough, guys, I have met Benfica fans in person that actually believe that Prestiani didn't do anything wrong. And are holding all to this like, oh, but he covered his mouth. How do you know what he said? It's so loud. Like, bro, I know Vinicius can be theatrical, but when him and his mates said they heard it, he covered his mouth. Vinicius has faced so many different opponents, and you don't see him react like this just that like easily. So for him to react the way he reacted, Prestiani being Argentinian, which we know their culture tends to lean towards being more, I guess, liberal with how they discuss racism. Yeah, this is a no-brainer to me. If you're confronting someone, you're covering your mouth, you're talking some shit. If it's not racial or whatever, then you don't need to cover your mouth. Simple as. And the other rule too I wanted to discuss, guys, was this. I don't know how true this is going to be, if this is just an idea or suggestion, or if it's actually going to be in place. All clubs will be required to have at least one homegrown under-21 player on the pitch at all times under a radical plan being considered by FIFA. The plan is said by sources to be aimed at helping development of younger players, according to Time Sport. Now, this, I feel, is a little too much. I don't disagree with the notion. I do think there's a way to go about it without having to force it upon, having a. I think there should be like a minutes threshold. Like you have to have an under-21s player in your squad who has played X amount of minutes once per season, or else like a fine, right? I think that's a way where you can work around it and be reasonable. Because if a player is shit, if you're a shit team and you have a player there that's just not ready to step up to the plate and you're forced to play him, that's a liability, in my opinion.
Listen, I feel that's a bit dodgy. That's the thing. What you just said, that's a bit dodgy, mate. I'm going to be honest with you.
What do you think? Why do you think? Where do you stand on that?
I think what they're doing is right because objectively, listen, let's not get it twisted, right? I think obviously in terms of English talent, right, at the top level, in terms of the top 6 clubs, right, let's look at it. You obviously got Kobe Mino at United, and Liverpool. I don't think there's an actual English talent in there. Maybe Curtis Jones, but he's set to leave the club basically.
He still plays 21s.
Yeah, he's under 21s to one as well. Rio and Gamoha technically, but he gets here and there to be honest. But he's not.
Yeah.
But essentially, he's obviously not on the pitch at all times as well, right? So Liverpool basically have 0, right? Obviously Chelsea, we got Reece James, we've got Trevor Chalobah, etc., etc. I think we all know for us who we've got in the team that's homegrown English.
It's not homegrown though, Ahmed. It's under 21, homegrown and under 21.
No, have at least one homegrown under 21 player on the pitch. No.
So in this case, it would be Acheampong for us.
Yeah, but
which I don't mind.
Okay. Which I wouldn't mind, obviously.
But the way I'm reading this rule, Ahmed, is that every game Chelsea are forced to have to play Acheampong, or if Acheampong gets hurt, then they're forced to have to play. I guess who's the next one in line would be Tariq George, but he's not at the club. So if I'm not counting Tariq
Derry.
George, then Raksaki or Jesse Derry or Reggie Walsh. Like, they'd have to be forced to play these players, which
I think the reason why they're doing this, I think the reason why they're doing this essentially is because obviously the talent pool in the UK, right? I think they want them to play a bit more at the top level. I think if you look at in Germany, for example, right, a lot of German young guys.
This is just to clarify before you continue. This is FIFA implementing this worldwide.
I think
just making sure.
The reason why this was like, listen, if you look at all of the leagues in general, right, a lot of like in Italy, for example, a lot of the top guys are barely playing under 21. You barely get any under 21 Italy guys coming through that are playing for some of these top clubs. I think part of it is that they want to get some of these young guys playing at the top level to be able to actually develop them and then play for the actual league itself. Which I think low key I can understand the POV. I think the issue then becomes, right, what is gonna happen now, right? Is it that a lot of these places, for example, they don't necessarily have great academies, for example, right? Like, for example, at Chelsea, we obviously have Colwill, which has been a very good academy for us. But if I go to somewhere like Liverpool's example, because I don't think I've had that much about the academy in general from what you've had, right?
Not very many,
Right? So, essentially, if I'm looking from that academy to bring someone in, and there's not that many good players, right? Then you're obviously harming the team from a sporting perspective, correct? So maybe from that perspective, maybe it forces some of these guys to actually improve their academies, to reinvest their academies, and maybe actually start focusing on actually producing better players.
I like that idea.
From the local.
It is smart. I just think if you want to do this, I think a minutes threshold is more reasonable than to force an under 21s in each lineup. I think that's
Marshall. That's not what it is. It's not in the lineup. Read it again. On the pitch at all times.
They're gonna be a part of this. Yeah.
So they have to be.
So what that would mean is, in Chelsea's case, say we wanted to sub Acheampong off, we'd have to sub him off and in the same motion replace him with Derry.
Yeah.
That's so weird. That's what I mean. Like
at all times. That's what the word radical there is a perfect description.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a lot. It is like you said, a radical change. If you impose a minutes threshold, I think it's more reasonable. I also feel I get where it's coming from, because I think with FIFA, it's in a way like keeping safe the future of football, right? Because there's a lot of players with great potential, and we know within our own loan system, that just don't fucking play. They go on loan, they still don't play. This season, the best example, Acheampong. Acheampong, in my opinion, was a waste of his season this season. He could have gone on a loan and played a lot more. He played some good games this season. A handful, right? We'll give him that. But not nearly as much as we would have liked to have seen him play, because he is of the talent to play at the level. And it stints their development. There are other loans, for example, where the players don't get used at all. Like we look at Santos' first loan at, what was it? Is it Sunderland or Forest? Forest. Didn't get used at all. You now stint that player's development. Cassidy is the best example. You stint these players' development. They don't live up to their potential because they didn't get to play enough time. And hence you basically indirectly ruin their career. And it's in a sense,
and we can look outside
those careers.
We can look outside of Chelsea on that basis as well. I mean, Kobe Mainu, one of the names mentioned earlier, had his first half of the season completely wasted by Amorim. Even Ngumoa, as good as he has been for Liverpool and as acclaimed as he is by them, Slot wasted 80% of the season on Gakpo on the left wing.
Yeah. So
I mean, loans still work though. No, but like we see with Colwill Brighton, and he's became like our most important centre back. Reece James for Wigan, that did obviously a lot because Reece was not going to like get straight into the team. When you had Aspie, he's still kicking on pretty well.
But not all loans work though, Chris, which is the point, right?
from these loans are just not going to make it at Chelsea, and that's just the reality. Not everyone can make it. It's
so what do you
hard.
think of the rule?
I don't like it. I don't like that. Wait, under 21's like youth player from our academy has to be always on the pitch.
No, just a homegrown player. It doesn't have to be ours.
Oh.
Yeah.
Still,
so we could buy like, maybe the best. Imagine if you buy the best under 21 Englishman that's available right now on the market.
Yeah.
Bring 7 to the team. Is that a net benefit for your team? Low-key, yes.
Why do you have to be under 21 though? That's why.
I think it's because they want to help the production of younger talent in football. In
the sport,
and I think low-key there is a truth to the matter. I do agree with, right? I think listen, even from a Chelsea perspective, right, that does benefit you from the sense from the
benefits the player.
From the perspective, you're developing a guy for your team. That's one less position for you to deal with. Right? Let's say he pans out for you, right? Let's say he's a left winger for you. He pans out. That's only 2 more positions you have to worry about. For example, if they maybe need to be improved upon, or if you got it set, for example, right?
Yeah.
So I think from that perspective, you have only 10 more positions to worry about.
I must say though, I do feel like this whole thing is kind of a little bit redundant because I feel like the sport is just going in a younger direction in general with the systems that teams use and needing the energy to press, and also you've got owners who strongly consider resale values. But this is just the direction it's going in anyway. Teams are getting younger. It's not just Chelsea having an average age of 23. The whole sport's getting younger.
To be fair, like I do think it's a good idea in concept. I just think it needs to be tweaked to be a little bit more fair because I feel like it's too imposing on teams. You're forcing teams to have to play under 21s when some of them don't have the academies like we do, like at Cobham or Carrington does. They just don't have the academies, which, like Ahmed said, it then forces the clubs to maybe invest more into those academies so that they can produce youth. But I mean, if you don't have like a strong under 21s homegrown player to put out there, and you're forced to play a player who's maybe not ready, you could potentially cause the opposite effect, right? You could worsen their career, ruin their confidence. Eventually they'd have to play out of it, sure, but like it could be detrimental towards the teams and their tactics, and it becomes a weakness or a weak area. Like it could go really wrong for a lot of teams just from one position. So I don't know. I think in concept, like I like the idea and what it could do, but it needs to be. I think it should be like a minutes threshold that you have to hit per season for homegrown under 21 talent, and you can probably make it like has to play 3,000 minutes per season, right? Minimum. And that's about a season's worth of games for like the likes of Caicedo. I think Caicedo's at 35 or 4,000 minutes played this season or something like that. I could look it up, but yeah, that's about.
I just think ultimately this proposal, it's good intentions behind it, but it's just kind of taking football further away from getting the very best of the best on the pitch and having competitive matches to decide who's the best. I've actually just looked this up. The Mourinho title-winning team 04-05 would be ineligible under this rule.
Shout out to them.
Like none of our English players or homegrown players in the Mourinho team in 04-05 would have met that criteria. They were all above 21.
Yeah. So let's see how we'll keep an eye on this rule change, see how it gets implemented, and we'll go from there. But it's definitely an interesting approach that I didn't expect to happen. And as far as the mouth covering rule, I think we all in agreement.
Can I
go for it? Go for it, Ahmed. Just be careful what you say.
No. Like, for example, let's say I'm in between. Like, I think the issue with it kind of becomes, for example, let's say I'm speaking to my teammate. I'm doing like a free kick.
It's only it states that only when you're in confrontation with the opponent.
Oh, if that's the case.
As long as we're clear on what that means and what constitutes as confrontation, then totally fine.
Yeah, because for example, what if like you're opponents like a former teammate, like you're on good terms with, even like, you know, a fellow countryman that you obviously play on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go like this, or sometimes you hide your mouth because like you obviously don't want the media to be seeing what you're saying either, right? So that I do wonder what, like, obviously about that, because then if you start doing that when two guys are doing it together and they actually having like a normal conversation, and then we just start giving both those guys reds, then again, you know, we have to obviously hopefully apply some level of discretion with like what's going on.
Yeah, it just adds more It just adds more subjectivity, as if the referees already aren't bad enough at subjectivity.
Yeah.
You can get red cards for that.
Yeah.
That's the proposal.
Being implemented that they're gonna do that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
For covering them up in a confrontation.
Vinicius thing.
Pardon?
It's because of the Vinicius thing, Chris.
Remember the Prestiani case, Chris?
Prestiani.
Guy.
I guess.
Yeah. So we'll see how it gets implemented. But yeah, they're saying if in confrontation you are covering your mouth, it's an automatic red card. So we'll see how it gets implemented.
Could be
now,
for some players though, right? Like,
could be, but I mean, if you're talking shit and you're covering your mouth, and it could only be something bad. You know,
they can't punish the guy if you like read him saying "fuck you" or something to a football player, or at least a little bitch.
You could say "fuck you" without covering your mouth, and you won't get sent off for it.
I know, yeah, but like, we read
that's
it on
nothing
VAR,
crazy.
like,
you know what I'm saying?
He's a little bitch. Now you're getting sent off.
Yeah.
No, I don't need VAR doing that, honestly.
Yeah.
VAR lip reading.
I said it first, so.
So before we continue, chat, I'm just gonna point this out. I just saw the headline: Iraola favorited for Chelsea job. We still doing this? LOL. As long as these men are owners, we're trash. Listen, I can't. This is hard. You might be right, but you live in the internet. You know how YouTube works. Come on, man. Get with the program. All right? We're going to discuss Iraola. We're going to discuss where we stand on it. And if you stick around, you'll get the context of why the title or the video is named what it is. So if you want to stick around and get the context like a responsible human being on the internet, then I'm all for it, man. And welcome. But if you want to just read the title and then make assumptions of what the video is about, then by all means, you can join the rest of the hooligans on the internet that do that and then spread misinformation, which is going to be a big topic of today's show for sure. So you choose your battles. But if you want to stick around to the show or watch after when I have the timestamps to just get to this part, by all means, you guys watching in the future or whatever, as long as you're hyping up, liking the video, subscribing, cool with me. So let's continue on before we get into Iraola and all that fun stuff that's been happening. We continue on to the Club World Cup badge. Now, why am I talking about the Club World Cup badge? Because this happened. Chelsea apparently have requested permission from the Premier League to continue wearing the FIFA Club World Cup winners badge on their kits for 2026 and 2027. The possibility of extending its use beyond one season had previously remained unclear. That's coming from Sam Wallace of The Telegraph. Now, listen, I don't care if it's on there or not. Genuinely, I don't. But this is kind of weird. I thought the whole idea was that it's supposed to be 4 years. So why is this even a discussion? Why was it even unclear from the get-go?
Marshall, let's not lie to ourselves, man. You do care, man. Okay? You do care, bro. This is your trophy, man. Let's not hide, man. Let's not hide, please.
The only reason I don't care, Ahmed, is because of how it could potentially look on the kit. That's it. Because I've not been a big fan of the look. But I will wear it I will proudly wear that because I think it was a great trophy that we won. A great night in Chelsea's history. Complete the set, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this is even up for debate or discussion between the Club World Cup thing. What do you guys think?
Because the Premier League are difficult.
Sure.
I mean, we've literally seen this before with Paramount Plus. They completely tanked our Paramount Plus deal, supposedly.
1 second.
Premier League.
Oh,
yeah.
It's difficult.
I guess.
I think if you win the Club World Cup and it's once every 4 years, you should be able to do it. Like, you are the current champion, so it shouldn't be an issue. But like Oliver said, the Premier League might be difficult to deal with. And
do you get a badge for the World Cup that you kind of wear for
you get the stars,
4 years?
don't you, and stuff.
You get stars.
Yeah, I guess it's different, right?
But that's FIFA though. That's FIFA. That's not the Premier League.
I mean,
I don't understand why we don't have our stars. I'll just be honest.
For Champions League,
put that out there. Yeah. We have 2 stars, man. Why don't we have our 2 stars? To be fair, United don't.
I mean, overall, I'm personally like, despite what I just said, I'm actually not like fussed about whether we wear this badge or not. This badge is a reminder of what we could be, and that is painful. And these players don't deserve to wear it. The fact I have to watch Garnacho wear a Club World Cup badge, he didn't even earn.
I mean, some of these players deserve it.
Yeah, it's a disgrace, man.
Oh, I mean, we know where you stand.
I mean, bear in mind this doesn't include UEFA competition, the EFL Cup or the FA Cup. So that's still up in the air. I don't know if there's a process to that or whether we'll just be allowed to wear it. This is just the Premier League.
I agree with that personally. It would look so much better on the sleeve. Way better. But
I mean,
I agree. I thought it was going to be on a sleeve, to be honest.
The reality is, man.
Well, the old one wasn't.
I know, but it looked better.
Listen,
well, the one during the tournament was on the sleeve, right?
No, you know the old Intercontinental one. You know the one we won under Tuchel. That was on the chest.
Yeah, that was on the chest. Yeah,
but that was a better look.
Oh, but that had its own icon. That was like
it was like a badge. It wasn't like a medallion. Like
a circle.
Weird. Yeah, the circle looks weird. Just looks like Iron Man's like core thing.
But when you already have another circle next to it, it just does not fit for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not a. Yeah, I agree. But
you know what it is, boys. You know what it is, boys. Yeah, I just
talk to me.
In general, whenever we have these discussions on these topics,
yeah.
The Club World Cup, man. Again, it's come and gone. Ain't no one remembering it, bro. Let's just get off the match, man. Let's not even decide to worry at all.
All right, you can stop trolling whenever you're ready, but
no,
I'm being serious though. I
know he smiles, but like
no. Listen, I know I'm smiling.
No, it's just a weird sentence to say about the Club World Cup that no one will remember it when it was the one trophy we needed to complete all trophies in the world. So it's like no one's gonna remember that moment. Are you serious?
The thing is, if people are gonna remember it, they're gonna remember it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that's fine, but it's not gonna not remember it.
The Club World Cup will be respected a lot more. I guarantee it. And if you chill like 8 years, 12 years, or whatever,
maybe Chris. I mean, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like it was.
I didn't know I was in the CDL.
Like if it was the other way around, right? Like, and I hate to say it this way, but like if the Conference League was the last trophy we needed to complete the set, people will remember. That's the day we completed the set. It was shitty because it was conference. No, but that's if you don't win Conference League, you don't complete the set.
No, but like
you go back to the history books. When did Chelsea get all their trophies? They officially won all their trophies in 2024 when they won the Conference League.
Yeah, but no one's gonna brag about winning that Conference League.
I'm not saying brag, Chris. I'm just saying that's gonna be a moment that people remember. It's all about just remembering. That's it.
You're gonna remember it because you were at the final. Okay, let's not twist it.
Who did we play in the final? I forgot.
All right, Marshall was at the final.
Fuck off, Chris. Never mind. Okay, I'm fucking done, bro.
Chris, you remember the scoreline?
You're ridiculous.
Do you remember the scoreline, Chris?
See, that's how you troll. Not the way Ahmed did. That's how you fucking troll. Fuck off, Chris.
I know for a fact Chris doesn't know.
I forgot who we played in the final. I'll be real.
See?
In the
Does you remember the scoreline?
Oh, in the Conference League. Oh, okay. You scared me. I thought for a minute you meant the Club World Cup. I was like,
no, Marshall. What?
That's why I thought you were trolling.
No, I respect the Club World Cup. You know I do.
Okay. You don't remember who we played in Conference League?
I'm trying to remember. It's like a B or something. Like.
Nearly.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember.
Real Betis.
Real Betis.
Yeah. For a second, I said fucking. Do
you remember the scoreline, Chris?
Was it 2-1 or like?
I don't remember the
score. 4-1.
It's 4-1, right? Yeah. I forgot the score.
I tried giving a respectable scoreline.
And the point I'm trying to make with the Club World Cup is that listen, a whole year has passed. Generally, and I mean this like genuinely, right?
Oh yeah.
It's been a whole year has passed. I have barely remembered the events of the Club World
Cup. Yeah,
because
you never respected it.
And like, listen, even
and you didn't even watch it.
And even you guys, I barely had.
You probably just watched the final. That's it.
About the fact that we played in the Club World Cup. Like, for me, I'll be honest, it sounds like a negative for us playing in the Club World Cup, bro. Like, the badge looks horrible on the kit. The badge looks horrible on the kit. You know, people got too high on their own supply because of the Club World Cup. You know, it feels like it's like a bad smell right now. And sometimes when you have a bad smell, you gotta move on, bro. You just gotta say no, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
One, the badge doesn't matter how it looks.
Your
it
take
just shows
stink,
you already
bro.
won the Club
Your
World Cup.
take stinks,
And
bro.
two,
That's all I'm saying.
our ownership and directors failed us. Not us winning the Club World Cup.
That's not a yellow, by the way, or a red card, chat.
Did you
He
send him
just
off?
left. We sent them off because he stunk. And Ahmed was talking about
You
if
didn't
it
give him a red
stinks,
card.
we got to get rid of it. No, it's just
But like,
he's not.
I don't.
He's just
I don't care
temporarily
how
removed.
it looks. I just got
Injury,
like,
you know.
It's history. We're gonna have that for 4 years, hopefully, on our shirt. So.
Yeah, we'll see. But
World Cup winners.
Chris, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't actually expect you to be here today. I thought you were gonna forget about me, and then just
I can't lie.
move on
I
with
am
your
very
life.
tired today, but
I am
Chris
too.
is,
I slept like shit.
You know what it is with Chris, man? Chris is moved on
I actually
now
went to
from,
train for the first time in
yeah.
like ever.
Oh shit, Chris is back in training, just like other
Yeah.
people we're gonna talk about today.
Yeah,
But-
Chris is Chris has moved on now. Like he needs to find alternatives to certain because he's left another institution.
He's not moved on. Let me tell you why he's not moved on. Because
Chris knows what I'm
the
talking
one
about. That's what I'm saying.
the one thing that Chris always loves to discuss, and he'll never leave Casually FC because of it, is because
Don't you dare do it again.
we have a
Yeah.
kit leak.
Another
He
have a
knew
kid
it. He
leak.
he
We have
came
a
just
kid
for
leak.
this.
When
Yeah?
he does
We have a
this,
kit leak,
I can
baby.
hear it coming.
We have a kit leak. Chris, we need your expert analysis. This is what the Chelsea kit is supposed to look like next season.
She's got nice hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't have eyebrows. But don't focus on the
I didn't
face.
notice that.
Focus on
hell.
the fact
Oh,
that
God.
there's a button and a collar and the fat Chelsea logo in I don't know what you want to call that,
that's
off-white.
That's a fake.
No,
That's
it's real.
surely a
It's real.
watermark.
That's a
No.
It's real.
No,
You can
no.
see it here too.
Wait. No, but look at the background as well. That's got the Chelsea.
It's here.
Look at the backdrop. No, look at the backdrop behind the shirt. There's a Chelsea logo on the backdrop
There's
as
two
well.
logos. There's a backdrop and then there's also one on the actual kit itself.
Yeah, it's real, guys.
Oh,
It's
you're
okay.
joking. That
You
is
remember
so
the
close to
there?
being good. That is so
remember
close to
last
being
year's-
good.
Do you remember last year's kit under Maresca? Or was it what's the one that we were in this season?
The one that we're wearing this season is similar to this design. Yeah.
The black kit is
so
nice.
that one also, because my brother's got the high vis edition of that one. That one also has like Chelsea, some sort of Chelsea stuff on there too. So yeah, actually that makes sense.
Dude,
If
this
all those-
AI generated photo is killing me, bro. That's supposed to be João Pedro, but it looks like
Shit.
if João Pedro and Lavia had a brother.
I thought maybe Caicedo, but no, I don't think it's Caicedo. If Caicedo and João Pedro had a baby,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, men can't have babies, Chris. FYI, just so you know. But if they had a brother, then yeah, I could see that. And I don't know who Esteval looks like. It looks like someone else.
It's not as bad as the João Pedro's.
Yeah, no, it's not. Wait, if this is real, this could be kind of fire. The little inverted Club World Cup icon. Yeah,
The
I
arc
don't know if
reactor,
it's
like
real.
you said.
So,
No
can I
way
actually say
that
right
Chelsea
now-
badge
The arc
sticks out
reactor.
like that, though. The blue.
I want to
no
say
way.
two things, yeah.
It's true.
This is what I'm talking about when I say CFC London has taken over Chelsea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at that, man. We got the CFC. Bro, we don't even have our own fucking badge anymore, bro, on the kit. Like, what we doing, man? What we doing, Marshall?
I'm not a fan of these kits, I'll be real.
Do you know the second one is the same kit that we had 2 seasons ago? Like, there's literally no difference, by the way.
I think it's just like a retro kit because it's using the old badge.
No, we have that. We had that kit.
Yeah, we
under
had
Roscoe.
I know we did have a similar kit.
What year, Ahmed?
I think it was 2 seasons ago, no? Wasn't it, guys? It was like 2 seasons ago.
I think it was last season.
Oh, it was the last season or was the Maresca? It was the Maresca season.
Last season we
with the
had.
Italian the lines down the middle.
But that was the
one.
off-white.
It was 2 seasons ago. I think it was 2 seasons ago. If I'm not
Are you on
mistaken.
about the one with the Italian lines down straight through the middle?
Chelsea.
I think I own that one.
It wasn't under Poch.
I'll put it on the
Definitely
screen in a
not.
minute. Because we're gonna do some little research live here on Casually FC real quick, just to kind of figure out.
Man still under Chelsea's.
So this is this season.
Yeah, look there.
That white one, right?
That white one is this season.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have.
Oh, so go
I haven't worn
to
it once.
24-25.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
There's the off-white.
Look, is that one?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, that one.
That's that one. Yeah.
That's similar as hell.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that is really similar, to be fair.
I didn't.
Wait, what the hell? Why can't I?
Oh, that one.
They've just done a retro style crest.
God, that was a horrible fucking badge there.
Man, look at that word nonsense, man.
So it's really, really similar. It reminds me of the Yokohama ones. What season was that? 1920, right?
That was like 2015 to 2020.
Yeah, I was gonna say further back in 2020.
This looks similar to that, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess this is kind of like, I don't know.
I guess we're not gonna find a similar kit to the.
We're not very creative with the white kits. I'm not gonna lie to you.
At least
our white kits are very, very simple.
I don't think you have to be though. I think they just look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no collar. I don't. And that's the other thing too. The blue one, I really don't like this blue kit, and I don't like the collar. I don't like the collar. The collar with the one button. At least give me two buttons. Like the one button collar, like. Nah, I'm okay. This is like business casual.
What is two buttons gonna make a difference to you?
It looks nicer, Chris.
Two buttons.
It's got more customability.
Why?
I mean, the other two have no buttons.
You know when you're
or just making no buttons. I just don't like the collar.
When you're very serious, man, you can unbutton those two buttons.
Yeah. So that's so you know, the difference between me being serious and then very serious. So when Caicedo's going in for a tackle, you better bet those two buttons are unbuttoned. Oh my days. No, I'm not a big fan of these kits at all. Like the black one looks too like Caesar salad or Caesar's Palace promotional fucking kit. The other one looks so basic and bland and blah. And then the blue one's ruined because our logo is just like in the back of it. It's weird.
It looks like a watermark. Like horrible.
It looks like a watermark. It's really bad. It's really bad.
I don't think I can buy another Chelsea shirt until they actually start performing a lot better than this.
That's also where I stand.
I don't want to give them no more money.
Yeah, I'm the same way now. So yeah, we move on, ladies and gents. That's the kit leak that I wasn't expecting to do today, but Chris showed up and I was like, oh yeah, might as well do it real quick.
So you wasn't gonna do it?
I only do it when you're here, Chris. That's the trick to it all. But, Chris, we're going to move on to your next favorite subject. And it's your favorite player.
Reece James?
No.
Okay, then. Well, you're not being serious then.
Yeah, I mean...
All right, you ready for this? You ready for this? Blonde hair, blue-eyed, Mykhailo Mudryk. Yep.
Huh?
Interesting you chose that as my favorite player, but...
Yeah, I know you miss him. There's been an update on Mykhailo Mudryk's case. It's actually kind of crazy. Finally, we've gotten an update. So Ben Jacobs, this is from May 1st. Ben Jacobs said the following: A look at what's next for Mykhailo Mudryk appeals for his 4-year doping ban at CAS. Mudryk using the same law firm from Paul Pogba, hoping to be back next season. CFC respecting the process before assessing next step. Shockstar could lose 60 million euros. So that's pretty much the big summary of it all. Ben Jacobs also broke the exclusive on the 29th. Mykhailo Mudryk's doping case has gone to CAS. Appeal filed by Mudryk against the FA on February 26. Parties exchanging written submissions. The FA banned Chelsea winger Mykhailo Mudryk for 4 years for an anti-doping offense. Mudryk has appealed to CAS against this decision with process ongoing, as Ben Jacobs reported. 4 years would be maximum punishment possible if confirmed. And he's probably appealing. We'll probably see in the next 2 weeks. It might be answered, but I'm assuming he's appealing because he wants the time that he's had off to count towards those 4 years.
No. So he's appealing.
No.
So essentially, he's appealing.
So they're gonna do 4 years on top of what he's done already?
No. So
no. It's standard practice to dock the time you've already served off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's a given.
That's the thing. So he's appealing it because he's trying to say that obviously, it's a mistake. He's an accident. He's got like a case to say that's not the case essentially. Does that make sense, Marshall? And so he's hoping because he's basically done what Pogba's done essentially, which is like a year and a half now.
Oh, is this the tweet we're referring to then? CAS confirmed the Ukrainian is now appealing against the imposed period of eligibility of 4 years, adding that the parties are currently exchanging written submissions and a hearing. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, she's
gone to the court of arbitration.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Okay, so he's just essentially fighting it. Chelsea would be able to terminate Mudryk's contract once the CAS process has concluded, given an anti-doping ban constitutes a breach of employment terms in most footballers' contracts. Were they to do that, the amortized cost of the remaining years of Mudryk's contract would disappear from the club's accounts, effectively writing the expense off and helping their finances significantly. On the other hand, though, Chelsea would be entitled to sell Mudryk, would be entitled to sell Mudryk for some sort of transfer fee if they maintain his contract and keep paying his wages. And then the last tweet I have on this situation, Mudryk has therefore fallen down the pecking order, meaning there is no guarantee he has a long-term future at Stamford Bridge, even if he clears his name. So he could get terminated. It's very possible, but we're finally coming to some sort of conclusion on this. I don't think the time will get reduced. Maybe it does, but as far as I'm aware, he's banned for another 2 seasons, which is crazy.
I mean, this was always going to be expected. I don't know why it took this long, though, for them to give them.
I know, it's crazy.
Ban. That's what
did it take this long with Pogba? Like,
no,
with Pogba,
no, it was quicker with Pogba.
Pogba happened like, I don't know, maybe Pogba's got a better name than him or something like that. You know, he's
Pogba definitely has a better name. That's no question right there. Mudryk's,
he's a better footballer as well.
He's not done much in his career. I don't think he had like a whole lot of footballing experience before he joined us, as well. And he's what, 25 now. So if he serves those next 2 years, his whole career's fucked at that point. Yeah. And that's just sad because
his career's already down the drain. He's got to give up. Like,
no, I mean, look, I'm just saying.
He was, you know, see how raw as hell he was.
Yeah. When he joined Chelsea, on about.
I don't think we like it. If that's true that we can write off his amortization by terminating his contract, I don't see how we save money by retaining him, paying his wages, and selling him. We're barely going to scrape 20 million on this guy.
Exactly. Yeah, I doubt there's going to be any club that's going to actually want to buy the player. Like, it was like Pogba is a different case. Yeah, for the fee that we want, but Pogba is a different case, right? Because his name holds caliber, and once he was unbanned, you know you're getting a good player there, right? Like there was multiple years.
Also, Pogba's contract was terminated. Pogba's contract was terminated.
So he's a free agent.
Well, they came to a mutual agreement, and then he's now signed for AS Monaco on a free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like different case with Pogba with Mudryk, bro. You don't got that clout, dog. You don't have that clout. Like, damn. You are, unless it's on a free, I don't think anyone's going to sign him, bro.
Damn, but Marshall just, man, I thought this was your boy, Marshall. Like, why are you just violating him like this, bro? What's going on?
It's Chris's boy, bro.
Oh, fair enough.
My boy.
Yeah, it's your boy,
man.
bro.
That's
we talked about this in the beginning of the segment, man.
Remember when? I don't, like, hate
we know you have a Mudryk poster on your ceiling, bro.
Hey, did I not mention to you, Marshall, the other day that I met?
It's an oil painting, Chris.
Did I not mention to you, Marshall, the other day that I met? Was it called
Who?
That I met Mudryk again the other day. He was next to my local show.
Oh yeah, I remember you mentioning this. Didn't you ask him all about the stuff and
yeah, it was actually a few months ago, and he said soon. So
soon, right?
Well,
he's optimistic. He's optimistic. Sure, so we'll see if it's actually gonna happen, but I don't see a future for him at Chelsea.
I hope they unban him. Well,
why?
Why do I want to see him get banned? What does that do for him or even us?
Well, okay, you feel bad for the player, and I get that to an extent. Well. Like it with him though, it was a lot of naivety. Like he kept making mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. Like he needed mentorship. I think that player needed mentorship, but another thing that he has to learn from this is that you as a player and anyone as a player has to be responsible for what goes in and out of their body. And whoever was responsible for what he ate or whatever made it so that he ended up getting that that meldonium in the system.
I mean, he's still 2 years already.
Well, yeah. Almost, right? It's been over a year. Pogba, it's going to be a year in January. 2 years in January.
The situation's very similar to Pogba, right?
No, because he was suspended in December 24, wasn't
he? Yeah. No. He was suspended halfway through Maresca's season. Remember?
Yeah. That's in December 24. His provisional suspension began. He got left out of a conference game in December, and Maresca covered it by saying he was ill. And then the news.
It'll be 2 years this December.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But like with Pogba, right, he was also banned for 4 years, but he got halved. So I feel like Mudryk should be able to get the same maybe.
Yeah, he went because he went through the appeal process like Mudryk's doing right now.
Yeah. But
So
same people, I think, like Cass.
We'll see how it goes, because it was pretty controversial, right? Because the whole meldonium being legal in Russia and some like or Ukraine and all those stuff, like it's a bit complicated. But again, you have to be responsible for what you put in and out of your body. You really do, and this one's a harsh lesson to learn.
I mean, he was doing well that season too. He was cooking.
He was doing better. Yeah, he was doing better.
Yeah, maybe it was the drugs then, isn't it? Then you know what I mean. That's what we're realizing now.
That's where we're trying to figure out.
Hey man, listen, the way he
drug to do with his muscles, though, right?
The level of power he's hitting.
He had V1 in him.
You know, no, he had V0, man. He had V0. That's what he had, mate. He had V0 the way he was hitting the ball. No cap.
He was doing well that season.
He was doing okay. He was doing
a lot better than we're getting.
Bro, he was hitting. I don't care what anyone tells me. This guy was hitting the ball into row. Was hitting it to row like.
He was also playing on top.
Row double Z.
Row double Z, mate.
In the Conference League, bro. He started one Premier League. He started one Premier League game under Maresca. One Premier League game.
Exactly.
Bro, he was probably destroying.
And he got hooked. And in that game, he got hooked at half time. He got hooked at half time in that one start. Stinker and hook.
I mean, you know that shit was knuckling, bro.
Yo, he
little
was
fire coming.
So you're telling me, who'd you rather, Ganacho or Mudryk?
Do you see like how on you see how on eFootball or PES as it used to be called, yeah?
Yeah.
You know like how they've got the anime stuff now with Naruto like hitting these Rasen Shuriken.
They do?
Like, yeah, that's what they do now. Yeah. So
That's
he's
so
got
stupid.
like that's basically what the way he was kicking the ball, bro. He was giving it it's the same move. Like
Yeah.
I would not be surprised, if if any of the Heidenheim neighborhood, because the Heidenheim like was really short, it's like Crystal Palace in terms of like the way this stuff was. If you hit like some random kids like window, I was watching
it might have happened. Hit the guy at the hot dog shop or the halal stop.
Crazy, bro. Yo, no, but it's actually it was genuinely crazy the way he was like legit, like he was booming it, man.
Well, the thing is, like, he was obsessed with working out. And listen, as someone who regularly goes to the gym, and I'm sure a lot of people do, we see it all the time at the gym. You see those roided out motherfuckers. Like people get into it. People get into that world through working out sometimes, and he was in that culture. So I could be playing a part in it too. Like I don't know. The verdict will come out. We'll see if he comes back to Chelsea. I doubt it. And even then, like I would want someone better than him, even though he would be better than what we have now. Sadly,
that's the thing. Like, how can people watch PSG versus Bayern and then stand Mykhailo Mudryk of all people? I know Garnacho's terrible. I know Gittins is terrible. That does not make this guy good in any sense.
I didn't say good. I just said better.
Hell. Yeah, the bar's in hell. That's the thing.
I know.
No, but there are people that actually think he's good, Chris. I'm not saying you, but there are actually people that rate this guy and think he's the next coming of Hazard.
I do think there's some. Okay, no, like
there are people.
Yeah, like overhyped.
There are people that think he's the next coming of Hazard, Ahmed.
Yes.
One of
Just go on Twitter.
Even actually, my barber kind of rates him too, and he's a Liverpool fan, so like he likes him.
Yeah.
There's something about him.
This is what happens when you live in the villages that Chris lives in, man. It's too easy, man. Not enough
it's
dates.
not in the villages or nothing, but hey.
No.
You said Liverpool fan. This is what rivals do, though. They feel. This is what rivals do, though. They pity him so much because he's just terrible and he's out of his depth at this level that they feel sorry for him, and that's why they kind of rate him.
Can we also address the fact that he's also your barber, Chris? So like, obviously, he's trying to maybe He's also
he shits on a bunch of players like before.
Yeah, but so he's also your barber. He also wants you to make sure, you come back and
you come back. I said to him, you can take Mudryk a Liverpool if you want to. So,
the thing is, listen, I'll be honest. Mudryk had some good hype going for him at the time, right?
Sure.
And I'll be honest with you. The problem is obviously
2023 Mudryk.
Oh, no. He even had a great debut. People forget this, by the way. Yeah, his debut at the time was ridiculous. It was against Milner, although of course context-wise.
Against Milner.
Yeah, I know, but listen. The thing is, sadly, Pochettino did not help him. He did not help himself, and then Maresca actually tried to help him, and then he did not help himself either. So that's the way the coup crumbled.
Yeah. When Mudryk comes back, though, Chris, just for you, he's gonna have an interview just like that.
That give you, good feeling.
I just pulled a little cramp right now, so.
What was the thing that?
Bro, the Mudryk judge is real, man. What the hell?
Yeah, seriously.
What was the juice that Mudryk was allegedly on? What was it, guys?
Meladonium.
Meladonium.
You need to give, hey Chris, man, get some meladonium, man.
Yeah.
You need to recover faster, bro. What's going on?
If anyone in chat can hook up Chris with some meladonium, you know what to do.
I don't think it's safe.
Let's
Oh my
move on
God.
to speaking of hooking up with things that shouldn't be hooked up to, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna go to hooking up your barber with leaks. Because this happened and we didn't actually talk about it. I'm shocked to hear if it's true.
I was telling you this actually consistently. You know, this curly haired fraud leaking up the club's lineup, man. What a fraud, man. Get him out of the club.
Nazar and Sami Mokbel came out with the following. Sources say the PSG team news leak originated from within the Chelsea dressing room. We've had a little bit of an issue with lineup leaks happening as of recently. And then Chelsea interim coach Callum McFarlane leaked lineups. He had this to say: "It's something that we are looking into and it needs to stop. We've spoken to them about the importance of that and making sure it doesn't happen again." And this is probably in response to a week prior to that interview, that Mr. Don Smith here reportedly saying that Marco Cucurella's barber shared Chelsea team news earlier today and then deleted it. So the reporter from the Standard.
Is Cucurella just telling him the lineup every time, not giving it down?
Probably. These
I
like
mean,
I don't get a haircut
fun,
as often as Cuckoo
Cucurella.
does. It's just weird that it's Cucurella. Like it just.
He said, "Fuck it."
He is a chatty one. So
no, but like,
Is it weird though?
Bored.
is it? I don't know.
I mean, the way I see it, like the thing I draw from this is that none of this ever happened under Maresca. They did not respect Rosinha, and rightfully so. And Cucurella was one of those voices that did an interview in the international break, like saying that the whole thing ain't good enough. I'm not surprised whatsoever.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be Garnacho. I thought he would be the one
leaking
leaking
Man
it.
United, so I looked at him sideways instantly. It's like, you're the one doing it, aren't you?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
It's not him.
But it's not. It turns out it was Cucurella's barber, and Cucurella opening his mouth and talking about the lineups. So hopefully it doesn't happen anymore. Cucurella, slap on the wrist. Cucurella, no bueno, my friend. So yeah, let's not do that again, Cuckoo.
I mean, it must have been some slap on the wrist because he played. It must have been some slap on the wrist because he played the first game under McFarlane, against Leeds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So, let me make this clear. Cucurella does not deserve to wear the badge, man.
He don't deserve to what?
To wear the badge, man.
To wear the badge. Who do you want to wear the badge in? I guess Hato.
Totally your opinion, Ahmed.
Listen, Black Nation, let's go.
Yeah, Hato stocks are going mad right now.
Yeah, Hato stocks are going up.
Listen, I was there when against Karabag.
See,
Was it Karabag?
Hato's going to go downhill or something. This guy's just...
Yeah, Karabag.
Listen, I was there defending him. I was telling you people.
Yeah, but you'll be the first to, I don't know, go after him.
That's what I said. I don't go after players.
You still defending the Sassi after he lost 3-0?
Listen.
He's back in relegation, by the way.
If you actually watch the game, honestly, they actually played really well. They genuinely played.
Mavropanos got done dirty. I'm not gonna lie. That should have been an onside.
I'll be honest.
I can't lie. At what point are we gonna stop and say fine margins with the offside goals? It was his sleeve. It was his sleeve that was offside for Mavropanos. That should have been a valid goal.
When there's billions of pounds, millions of pounds
crazy.
on the line, Marshall, unfortunately,
It's really crazy.
Hey, welcome to late stage
fiber of a sleeve now matters.
That's it, man. Hey, man.
It's weird, man.
Hey, but when you're Liverpool, it's the 5 centimeter rule.
Hey, there we go.
Yep.
No, but I think the point you're gonna make this quickly on this on Tottenham and West Ham. We play Tottenham next week, so I'm hoping that we do the job and they just need to get a draw and then they're back up to where they need to be. West Ham. So that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
In an ideal world, you want West Ham to beat Arsenal.
I think it's Leeds.
No, they're playing Arsenal next.
All right, but listen,
we need to beat Tottenham because Tottenham facing Leeds. So then when we face them, it's definitely relegation, not a chance. But if we face them and they lose, they still have a chance. It's I did the math a little bit. But speaking of players and all that fun stuff, we got to talk about some injuries because there's been not even some injuries. There's good news and there's bad news in this segment. For one, this might get some of you angry from the get-go, but I just want to let you know that I did watch a little bit of Strasbourg today, and I did witness a certain striker get injured.
Omega got injured again, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Manuel Omega appeared to have suffered a muscle relapse at the end of the game versus Toulouse today. He was visibly shaken. It's not confirmed, but it looks like he got injured again, which is absolutely damning because this is the player we're going to get next season. Brother, I think it was 4 big injuries this season, I think, already.
He had 2 this season. I think he had 3 big injuries before December. This is his 5th.
Yeah, this is insane. This player is so injury prone right now.
I said it, man.
That's a shame.
It's really wild. But keeping an eye on this one because, again, it's Strasbourg right now, but next season is going to be Chelsea, people. So this is pretty much Chelsea news.
He'll still probably score more goals than the Lappi would.
Me, I hope so. I hope you're right, Chris.
All the injuries, he's got more.
This is the big bad one. Esteval. So we kind of already knew Esteval's injured, but this is just kind of confirming, solidifying everything. Esteval suffers a grade 4 hamstring injury and is unlikely to play the World Cup, according to The Athletic. Now, there is contradictory news on this. So Esteval is trying to convince Chelsea to release him to receive treatment in Brazil under the CBF supervision for the dream of World Cup. Chelsea initially wanted to operate on the posterior thigh muscle, which would bury the chances of playing in the Club World Cup. You mean the World Cup, okay? So ESPN Brazil reports the following. Just in, Esteval has decided against undergoing surgery. The player and his team are now exploring alternative treatments in Doha, Qatar, a final attempt to accelerate the recovery ahead of the World Cup. And here's where we get the confirmation. Esteval is not giving up. I'm sorry, still. This is reiterating other stuff. Chelsea, Esteval is not giving up on playing the World Cup. A source close to the player said, "We hope this recovery will be fast. We have little time, but his injury isn't so complicated." And then ESPN Brazil reports the following. He has practically been ruled out of the World Cup. So the injury is not going to be recoverable quick enough for him to come back.
Does that mean he got the surgery or?
Maybe he gets the surgery. I hope Reece James puts an arm around his shoulder and actually explains this to him because Reece James went through the same thing. Let's talk about this, though. This is the good news, ladies and gents. Chelsea interim coach McFarlane confirms Reece James and Levi Colwill are back in training. Reece is back in training and Levi is back in training. Both looking good. Both are looking promising. Big boost. Reece James and Levi Colwill are on course to be available for selection for the FA Cup final against Man City on May 16th. It's coming up soon, but...
Oh, wow. That's actually closer than I expected.
Yeah. I told you guys. Levi Colwill on his injury setback. It felt like being down bad from winning trophies and enjoying the high to coming back and getting injured straight away. It was humbling. It shows you what life's about. You can never be too high because it can bring you down. And that's what happened to me, according to Levi, as of a few months ago when he was interviewed about the injury. But Reece is back. Levi is back. Whether Levi actually starts,
Levi should not play another game this season. I'm not even joking when I say that.
I don't think he should start, but maybe he's a sub.
Not even sub. But don't even play him this season, bro. I think particularly with ACL injuries, bro.
Totally agree.
You have to be cautious, man. Listen, thank you. Keep playing the under-21s if you want him to help him maybe start getting back.
Has he been playing under-21s?
Yeah, he's been playing under-21 games apparently. That's from what I've heard. Keep playing that one. Let him slowly build up and get back into what he needs to do, right? And then let preseason be the first game that he actually starts playing football. In my personal opinion.
I disagree.
Okay, yeah.
I disagree. One, Levi Colwill as a player is not going to want that. That's just plain and simple. You know how these players are. They're stubborn. They're going to want to play. So there's that one aspect. Now, taking that aspect out of it, in my opinion, the whole season and this whole recovery process should have accounted for everything. So if he's ready to play, then it should be known that he is ready to play and that he is good to recover. And listen, this kid still wants to get a shot to get into the England squad for the World Cup, right? I don't think he's going to make it, but he still wants a shout to be in there. There's also that aspect. And if he's good enough to train and he's already playing under 21s, then let's continue his rehabilitation by giving him some minutes in the Premier League or in wherever. Now, I know for the Premier League, I'd rather rest him. I'd rather not start him. But if he can be available for the FA Cup game, look, you can't saran wrap him forever. He's been saran wrapped all season. So I think if he's ready to play, then let's start the recovery process now. Let's get him ready to go.
Few things, Marshall.
And we still have something to play for in the FA Cup, whether you like it or not.
That's not an issue. Few things, Marshall. Firstly, he has zero match sharpness. Okay, that's just one thing, right? That's one thing we should understand. He has just come back from
Well, actually, hold on. Let me say something. That's an assumption. We don't know that.
What in the EPL?
That's an assumption. Let's see if he plays like shit in the first game, then we could be like, oh yeah, he's definitely not match sharp. We haven't seen him play yet.
But Marshall, he's not played any game, so he's zero match sharp. That's just like.
He's not played competitively in like 10 months.
Yes. So he is like zero match sharpness. Secondly, I understand. Listen, I think all of us here would agree. Is Colwill star for the team if he's playing well and hopefully 100%. But this guy just come from a game alter, I should say, like a career altering injury, bro. ACL is a career altering injury for most of the time. Okay, he's probably missing a step. He needs to find out how he's going to be able to play now that he's maybe got a new ACL or like a reconstructed knee, right? So there's that whole aspect to it to begin with. I remember what happened with Liverpool when Van Dijk came back quite early from his injury. They threw him straight in, and you saw how bad he was for that first few months, Marshall.
Oh, he's poor.
He was really poor. So I think
he was poor that whole season.
He was pretty poor that whole season. So I think we need to be obviously.
But not all players that come back from an ACL perform as bad as Van Dijk when they come back from an ACL, right?
But Marshall, Van Dijk is a top player.
I know.
I like to think
I'm not denying it.
I like to think also Cole was one of those top players. I don't want to be put in a situation where that happens. And I also think that look at the teams that we do face afterwards, right? We got obviously Spurs. I think we got Liverpool after that, right, guys? And
Forest. There's Forest on Monday.
I don't think he's gonna play Forest on Monday, so I'm not including Forest.
But he'll be on the bench. He'll be available.
After that, it will be Spurs, it will be Liverpool, and there's going to be one more. Obviously, City's in the FA Cup, and there's going to be one more.
Sunderland's in there away.
Sunderland away. I think Sunderland's always our last game.
As far as I'm aware, this is part of his rehabilitation process. You have to play him. You have to give him some minutes.
Yeah, but the rehabilitation process doesn't happen right now. We can let that happen in preseason. I think that's a much better environment for him to actually make that stuff happen.
Sure, but if there's a chance that in the off chance, notice how I'm saying off chance. Chat, listen to the words I'm saying. In the off chance, okay? This word means a lot in this context. In the off chance that he plays a few minutes and actually looks decent, then I would want him to get his match sharpness up a little bit so that he can at least give me 60 minutes in the FA Cup. So we don't know until we actually see him play, where he stands. I'm going to agree with you, Ahmed, that he's probably not good. He's probably going to have to recover for a while before he gets back to where he needs to get back to. But there is also the possibility that he's a fucking prodigy and he actually just comes back and he's just as good as he was when he left.
I think
you never know.
The way you see that is how he's playing in the under-21s. If he's playing like really, really, really good in those sort of games, I think giving him minutes then obviously afterwards in like the Nottingham Forest game, even if you want to use that one Spurs game, I think then makes sense. But I think but I think the issue always becomes, right, obviously then, right, you know, if he doesn't perform well and he looks bad, right, and then what do you do then?
You keep. That's a big problem because
it's rehabilitation.
That is genuinely a big problem though, because like obviously because he was our best centre back last season, everyone's doing saviour gimmick on him, and he is a young player. And at the end of the day, you got to remember as well, like this injury is just as much, if not more, mental than physical. When he has to go and do a recovery run, does he make that sprint, or does he go, oh, actually, you know, I'm actually quite scared of hurting my knee here? these are thought processes that happen with these players. You have to tread very carefully.
The thing though is too, like, I'm inclined with, listen, if he can't play the FA Cup, that's fine. It's no big deal. I do want him to play games now because you want to get the into the habit of, okay, this is what it feels like right now, match fitness wise. This is what I probably need to train in during the preseason. Like, you want to give yourself an idea of where you stand in terms of your regimen. You don't want to just train up for this moment and then, all right, I'm not going to play for the rest of the season. We'll just start next season. It's less games. So these games that in the league right now that honestly don't matter because we're not going to make, unless we make it to 6. I would not play him
in that Tottenham game in case anything happens. Those cunts can
I wouldn't. But like, I would use these games as an extended preseason for him because then you get that big break.
This season.
Like, just use it as part of his rehabilitation. Like, again, the games don't really matter that much, but I would use it as part of his rehabilitation. Get him going. Don't overdo it, obviously. And don't, if he's not ready, don't rely on him in the FA Cup. Don't fucking start him if he's not ready to start, if he doesn't look good. So
it's whatever he's comfortable with, the medical team's comfortable with, the manager, even so.
Listen, and again, like, people in the chat talking like, I don't know, oh, you could yeah, of course, you could re-injure anything. It happens. I am assuming, right, this is an assumption. I am assuming that if he's ready to play, it's because the medical team has cleared him. There's no risk of re-injury. All these things, he's cleared all the signs. We know how our medical team is. Literally part of the reason Maresca left because the medical team didn't want him to play certain players and they were annoying and rotation, all that stuff. So our medical team are fucking anal. We're not Spurs, okay? So if he's being cleared to go and play, then I am assuming that the risk of re-injury is very, very low. And that there's also a process of reintegrating him into the team for the rest of the season. So we'll see. I don't disagree if he... No, actually, no, I'm not. I am going to disagree with this. I don't think he needs a loan. I think he just needs a preseason. Let's see how he plays next season. And he'll slowly but surely get to the level where he needs to get to. I'm not loaning him out. He doesn't want to get loaned out either.
He doesn't need a loan, but what he does need, he needs to... He needs someone... That can step in ahead of him so that we're not doing saviour gimmick on a guy that's coming back off an ACL injury. We did the exact same thing under Maresca with Wesley Fofana after his ACL injury. Didn't go too well. So that's what I'm saying.
But speaking of ACLs and injuries, we need to talk about a guy who is infamous for doing that to our team. I believe there was one point under this guy's jurisdiction where we only had Cassidy as an option on the bench and then youth players from there because he injured the fuck out of every single player that we have in our team. And I think that's why we have the fucking regime of medical team that we have right now. I was going to say something worse than that, but you fill in the blanks, Ahmed. All right? And we're going to talk about Pochettino. Now, Pochettino had an overlap interview, and he said some spicy things, and I want to kind of see where you guys are at with what he said. So we'll start off with this first tweet that came out.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
I got you, Ahmed. Pochettino on the overlap saying, I'm not complaining because it was my decision to leave the club. I still believe it was a little mutual, but sure, he wanted to leave the club. So he said the following in the interview. And this is Matt Law, actually, his comments on it. But Pochettino was not lied to when he took the Chelsea job. He just wasn't. What happened was, but like a lot of managers, they accept one thing at the start of the job, and then the further they get into the job, they want another thing, and that is the reality of both Pochettino and Maresca. Now the argument is whether having proved themselves should be allowed more because Arteta's role at Arsenal, for instance, changed. Should they be allowed more? Yeah. He was given more and more control because of what he achieved. Now, Poch, you didn't achieve shit. So you having more and more control, that is what it is. Like, Maresca, yeah, you can make the argument. But again, this was... what Matt Law is saying is correct. When managers start to get the club to a certain level and get to the end of the season, they're going to start asking for more things. And that's probably the idea that both of them had. Oh, yeah, I earned a right to have more power or more say. So that's not the case at Blueco. So on why he left Chelsea, he's had the following to say. Why I think I am disappointed with the internal things is that under our assessment and our vision, it was a normal process to create something solid for the future, to assess things and to add quality, but not as quick like people believed. If you see the things, we finished 6th. winning the last 5 of 6 games. We arrived at the final of the Carabao Cup. We played the semi-final of FA Cup against Manchester City that we, in both games, deserved to go through one. To win the final, another go through, but because of inexperience or because of different things, we didn't win. But we were in very good way. But after when things don't match what our vision, we said it's better to split. It's better not to, and not to give the possibility to the club to do what they want to do. So essentially, again, his broken English was a little hard to follow at times because I didn't finish the interview, but I did listen to most of the interview. When he got to the Chelsea part, I listened to it just to make sure nothing was out of context. And this is generally what he said. A difference in visions between both clubs. As far as Pochettino and his team assessed, if this was going to be a project, a long-term project, I think Pochettino was signed for 3 years, I believe. If this is part of the 3 years, then according to his team, they were on track. By the end of his season, according to his team, they were on track, and they were closer than they were further away to where Poch wanted to take.
I think it was a 2+1, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a 2+1. So disagreements between the Chelsea team and the Pochettino team in terms of where the club needed to be. I think the Chelsea team thought that the club could be in a better place, and we were behind schedule with Poch. So Poch disagreed on that.
I don't think that was what he's saying. I think the vision is that I think they probably were planning to bring in, as you saw in that transfer window, they brought in a bunch of younger players in that transfer window again, right? So I think he assumed that they were going to bring in a bit more experience and older players into the team, right? Which is what I think he expected,
yeah.
Right, because if he's thinking the next step logically is that, right?
You add experience to the team.
Right, and that, because remember, he's talking experience literally in this comment
different
right
vision,
now,
yeah.
Right,
yeah.
and that clearly was not happening at the time. And I think that, again, what Poch is saying is not nothing to be sorry about. Matt Law is right when he speaks about what he's saying. Same thing happened under Maresca. These guys thought they were going to get, they thought, I'm going to accept the conditions that I'm on right now, but obviously the conditions are going to change, maybe if I prove myself. But these guys, as I've said multiple times, they don't give a shit, bro. They just say to you are here to manage. These are the conditions you're going to have throughout the whole career, throughout your whole contract, essentially. And that is it.
So in terms of what you were just talking about, Ahmed, this Pochettino had this to say essentially. Being fair, I supported all the business when we arrived. When we signed, it was already done, all the business. I was only involved with Disasi because of Wesley Fofana's injury in preseason and Cole Palmer. It's more about the philosophical idea. The coach or coaching staff need to be involved in all these types of decisions. And I think, like Ahmed was alluding to, the club had different ideas as to how to build a team. Poch had his own ideas and didn't feel like his ideas were being reciprocated towards building the future of the team.
To add Marshall, again, do you remember when Poch came at the time? I think all of us here were saying it was a weird appointment because Poch's style of play is he likes a lot more runners. The team is not as technical under Poch, if we're being honest and fair, right? Yeah. Right, and if you look at the guys that we had in the team, like the reason why quite a few, like the way his tactics work in terms of being able to run, being able to do a lot of stuff to run everything of the sort, right? It was a mismatch. That was always one of my main issues, right? And I assumed when he told a philosophical idea, he was like, I don't need a lot of these technicians. I need runners essentially, guys that can run the ball, that can push the pace, that have the energy, right, and that can kind of survive, his training methods. If we're being honest.
Yeah. By the way, chat, this is not PR. Like, this has nothing to do with Chelsea. It's just an interview that the Overlap made, okay? So it's, just because PR is a popular thing to say doesn't mean everything's PR. This is not PR. Overlap had a interview with Pochettino, separate of Blueco. If anything, they wanted to probably pick
Pochettino do PR for us?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is not PR. Like, just let's be right about what the hell PR actually is.
Poch is doing PR fast, man. Then the game's gone.
Yeah, the game's gone. More on what Pochettino had to say. Okay, that's what I thought you meant, JC. I just wanted to clarify with everyone else. This is not PR.
Isn't even PR because
not really. It's just his own opinion.
Matt Law's opinion is the same opinion that I've had. That I know a lot of people disagree with me with because it's factually true. The problem. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent again, Marshall, but like the whole reason of the Matt Law tweet and why it's right is because these guys think of the guys as employees, That's just the way to look at it, bro. It's not like they don't see them as partners, if that makes sense.
They don't want to. It's not a manager thing for them. Yeah, it's just like another coach. Mauricio had this to say as well. I think they have a plan. They have a plan that may be completely different from what they had in the past with Abramovich. It's true that it's not easy because it's difficult for people to understand. I think when I am thinking about a new project, I think the most important is how we can translate and show the plan and what we want to achieve with that and the process to arrive there where we want to arrive. And I think that was something he mentioned in the interview about showing the fans that there is an actual plan, and that's what he's talking about. Showing what the plan is to the fans and having them understand what the plan is and going forward with that and getting to the goal, which again, the goals were different for Pochettino versus for Blueco, as well as the idea of what they can do together. I'll go ahead and actually play the audio for this so you guys can listen. This is kind of where the conflict was. So this is, I don't think I'll get demonetized for this. Yeah, he's growing his hair out and stuff. And
he looks a bit chubby too, man. Listen, man. There's burgers in there's a lot of barbecue. There's a lot of barbecue in Texas.
They hit different. They hit different for sure.
Listen, man.
I'll say that.
Hey, man. There's too many barbecues, man. Yeah. We're in Texas too much.
All right, let me play this Pochettino clip and we can react to it.
People that arrive, the new ownership, the new.
You guys hear it?
Yeah, lovely.
The new football, the new coaches, the new sporting director, the new everything. The new everything that we sometimes underestimate the analogic things.
Right.
No.
Right.
And
when he's saying analogic things, by the way, because this could confuse the fuck out of me, what he's trying to say is just the simple things you can't get through data, just the human aspect of the game, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So we'll continue.
It's like in football is analogic and digital. I think
he means analog. That's what
you cannot put on the bin the analogic things. Keep, because it's going to support the digital.
Yeah.
In technology, because now the digital is putting in the bin the analogic way, but football is not like this, because still it's things that you cannot measure with data or with
digital,
science. It's still a game that keep some mystery or some mystic that you cannot identify.
Yeah.
You cannot identify. And always I told the people, say, when you identify, the equation that player that play here is going to perform in that environment, in that circumstance, you are going to be the most rich people in the world. But that doesn't exist.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that is about things that you need to smell, things. It's not only data. Shoot many times or run or not run or the throw-ins or like this. No. That is things that you cannot measure through science or numbers.
There you go. So a difference of how they viewed football was another reason why, and I don't even disagree with Poch on this. Like, there is a lot of things that I think the ownership, and I hope the ownership, are actually learning about in terms of, like, not everything could be measured through data. Garnacho is like the biggest example of this. Just because in the data, Garnacho looks good because he shoots a lot, and if we improve that, then that translates to more goals. Not necessarily. Yeah, he shoots a lot. It's the technique, where he shoots from. All these other things that maybe data doesn't always track. And the attitude of the player, the ego, the confidence, the lack thereof. So many different factors that I think Pochettino is on it. And
I think
listen,
this is where you know is to actually scout your players too. So just
it's true. It's true. And for me, listen, this is gonna come as a shock to a lot of people, and I did mention this with Alexis. I'll be honest with you. I think now in hindsight, especially knowing everything that's been going on in the background with Blueco, I'll be honest. I think I was now a little too harsh on Poch. I think he got dealt somewhat of an annoying hand. I'm not going to say a shitty hand because he still had good enough quality to do something that wasn't finish 6 or have us as bad as we were most of that season. I do think there was a lot of input from the directors that influenced a lot of decisions. I think there was a lot of headbutting between them. I think there's, and this is conspiracy, people, so bear with me here. I think they were trying to do a certain thing together, Poch and the directors, and have a certain way of approaching the game. And I think when Poch decided to scrap it, that's when we started winning games. That's when Poch started getting that attitude, when he decided to do things his way. I do think that's actually, there's validity to that, but that's a theory. So
that's a shitty theory. I'm gonna be honest with you, Marshall.
Yeah, maybe.
Can I explain to you why?
No, go for it, man.
Because
the
way he was playing initially, what's his style of play? Let's be objective, guys. Yeah, the way we were playing initially in the beginning of the season, the way he was doing stuff, that was his style of play. It wasn't until he decided to change the way he was playing again, inverting Kukure into midfield, compacting the stuff that and everything of the sort. That things started looking up for us. If we're being honest, things changed once he changed his own OG tactics that he used to use.
Yeah.
Right. That is literally what happened. All right. Now, I think for me, and I always listen, and I think for me, and I've always said this before when it comes to Mr. Poch's ability in terms of manager wise is undeniable. That's why one of the reasons that you've heard me say this before. Manager Poch was elite. There's a reason why all the players loved him. They fight for him. They backed him because manager wise he was very good at that. His issue always was when it then came to the tactical approach, he fucked it up. So,
and by the way, that's not me taking accountability off Poch. I still think he's responsible for how bad that season went, regardless. Until the last few games.
I think that's the level of balance that we should have, right? Which is that manager is great. He was able to get the best of the players because he had a great relationship with the players. But at the same time, tactically was not great either. That's just, I think if we say that, I think we're being a bit more nuanced on his reign as a manager, in my personal opinion. That's just me, though.
Yeah. Not a mutant, just want to call this out real quick. Ahmed, you do realize if Callum wins the rest of the games remaining, your owners will give him the job. Give him the job qualification means fuck all to your owners. You can't skip. You got to get your license to be a manager at a club. So it's just not going to happen. Let's not spread misinformation, which is why I called it out.
You can be a manager, but you get fined. You get fined for it.
You get fined 22K per match.
Do you remember? Do you remember Will Steele in France? He didn't have badges, and he was getting his club was getting fined for it.
Yeah.
But also, we're looking at other managers.
Guys, so all I ask is people just do the bare minimum. Do your research. Don't just take everything for surface level. I at least show you tweets where I'm getting my information from, and when I'm saying I'm speculating, I tell you I'm speculating. So you could take that with a pinch of salt or, wander with me with a theory. But when I'm giving you the tweets and the actual sources where they're coming from, you could take that as it is. But don't just take people's words for what they are and just believe it. Do a little research. We have AI; it can do it for you. So it's just the bare minimum to not be to not feed into shitty shit that we already have on Chelsea Twitter space and all that bullshit. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry I interrupted you guys.
I don't have anything much to say.
Who was going?
Forgot if it was Chris or you, Oliver.
Yeah, it's you or Chris, basically. Yeah.
Because there's theories, not mutant. They're not facts. That's what I'm trying to point out.
What's we talking about, the manager or?
I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Well, I guess
we're talking about Poch.
Just Poch in general. I mean,
I don't know where the information why some fans are saying, "Oh, if he wins majority games, he's gonna get the job." Where?
He's not gonna get the job. He can't get the job.
Any reports of him getting it? I mean,
he doesn't have a license.
I know he can't, but I'm just saying, where are they getting this information?
They're just taking people's words for truth. It's feelings, Chris. It's just people spreading misinformation and no one questioning it. I question everything. That's why I don't spread. I try not to spread misinformation.
Ownership to get a good manager in, but
yeah, I know exactly. I agree with that, Chris. I don't back this ownership to get a good manager in, but I'm not gonna also pretend like Callum McFarland's in the lineup for. If you said Gary O'Neill, I'd be like, yeah, Gary O'Neill, not a mutant. You're probably right. Gary O'Neill's probably the next one because that makes sense. But
I mean, if you say
not
Lampard, it's more believable.
Yeah, even Lampard's more believable. But yeah, he will. It's all about PR with Blueco. Okay, not a mutant. So if you want to believe he will, then show me the proof. I'll leave it to you. I'm not going to do the work for you.
But like this whole man.
Go ahead, Oliver. I'm sorry. I just have to address those things every now and again. Oliver, you were saying about Pochettino.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I just think with Pochettino, he's got points there. Like, you can't go all data, but Poch is the complete other end of the spectrum. He is all eye test and like running, and you know, the setup don't matter. Just effort. This guy wanted to sign Manuel Ugarte to this football club and put him in a pivot with Conor Gallagher. That guy is one of the worst Premier League midfielders that I've seen in years, and he wanted him, and he platformed people like that. I'm sorry, like, listen, you may have been dealt a bad hand, and these directors may be like tyrannical and whatnot, but
sure.
I was not buying into your vision, and you injured this squad. You saw the transformation after we replaced him. Reece James all of a sudden can actually walk, you know, and amongst many others. So many players getting their first ever career injuries under this guy. Like, I have no sympathy for him. Like, go and do what you want to do. I don't think about him at all anymore because, like, it just makes me upset. He's doing his thing with the US. Fair play to him. He's got some points there, but ultimately, he's not the guy I'm gonna, I'm not gonna hitch my cart to Pochettino of all people.
No. Listen, the damage is still done. I still despise the guy, but I will say it does generate more sympathy from me. It does make me look at the time he had under Chelsea under a different lens now, and it doesn't take away from how shitty the season is. I gotta reiterate that, right? Like, he was still not the coach to go ahead and take Chelsea to the promised land. Maybe I could be wrong about that, but I still believe that.
The largest revision I can have of that season, and I'm gonna kind of quote Carefree Lewis and what he said about this, is that the idea that a lot of us had that if you simply replace Pochettino, that everything gets better. Like, it did get better, but we're still not good enough. We're discontent with everything. So it wasn't all his fault, but it also was largely his fault.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, with that too, it like, also
I'm sorry. The thing is, we're just asking for top four at that point. We're not even asking for anything astronomical. We're just asking for top four. Well, when it came to Maresca, and the reason why people like me and Lewis are unhappy is because we wanted to go to the next step, to the league title. Top four should be so easy and a bare minimum, and this guy failed at that. But it's unforgivable.
And I'll add this too, and we'll close out on this. It does, like, now looking back at that Poch season and everything Poch has said, it does look like these owners genuinely did not know what the fuck they were doing from the get-go. And it's been a learning lesson after season after season after season. Graham Potter season, bloated squad. What happens next season? We get rid of a few more players.
I think they did, Marshall. I think they know what they're doing.
Maybe. We'll talk about that in the next segment. But
look at that contract length. They were not keeping him long term, regardless of anything. 2+1, when everyone else got 6-year contracts.
Yeah, and then you look at the season after that, all the injuries. Then all of a sudden, this season you have the medical staff last season so anal about how you play players and stuff. Oh, we learned from that Poch season. We got to really it feels like it's been a learning lesson after learning lesson after learning lesson. Let's hope they finally get to that point where they figure it out, or it gets to the point where we're going to talk about next, which is it's all. What's the word I'm looking for? It's all deciduous. It's all ill-intended.
What do you mean? It's all insidious.
Insidious?
Yes, insidious.
Yeah. Okay.
I think their intention with Pochettino, I think they wanted someone to come in who had experience of the Premier League. Because obviously the season before, with hiring Graham Potter and whatnot, and sacking Tuchel, went so horrifically badly that we've got Pochettino. He's been in title races. He has experience and he's developed young players. Let's put him in to be a stabilizer of this institution. You know, it did the exact opposite. That was the idea behind it, but it was never meant to be a long-term thing. Like I said, Potter got a 6-year contract. Maresca got a 6-year contract. Even Rossini coming in mid-season got a 6-year contract. This guy got a 2+1. They knew exactly what they were doing. It was never going to last. beyond that 2 years. They weren't going to activate that. Even if he did agree to stay, they weren't activating that 3rd year.
Yeah, I think the thing with Poch was that, and I've said this often, I think they at the time have thought, or bringing in guys, young guys, and they were thinking, we're gonna get Poch in. Poch is a guy of experience, knows the job, can help develop these guys, right, and improve them. And I think that clearly did not happen that season. If you're being honest, no one really improved that season, right? But Palmer, in my personal opinion, decided to have a juice season. That's the best way to put it right now. Because that's the way to put it right now. You know what I mean? He was just, you know, he had the Sammy Sosa season. If you know, you know. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yes, I do know.
Yeah. So, like, barring him and maybe you could say Jackson, right? But even though I feel like Jackson was doing the same thing that he was doing at thingy, but so with the only thing is that you just had more game time, right? I just think in general, nothing. Obviously, I don't think anyone improved as a player. And so what happened was, I think for them it was like they needed to find a way to move on from him and bring in another guy that was actually going to improve the players and improve the team, because that's what they needed, right? None of these guys had improved at the time under him, genuinely.
Yeah, no, I feel like a lot of players weren't developing. Levi Colwill being like the biggest example of that. But in terms of where the club is at now, too, I think we need to move on to the next topic. It could be a snooze fest for some of you. It could be what some of you want us to talk about. And
what is it? Oh, money. Here we go.
You see, all right, Oliver was like, I've had enough. Oliver's had enough.
I'm tired of talking about Chelsea finances, low-key, man. I don't know if that's all.
I am too. Let me go through the tweets and see what we decide to talk about. All right? Because there's plenty more to talk about after this. We got actually a jam-packed show. Guys, if you haven't done so already, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. Let's get into this and let's try to make sense of the situation, because it is confusing and it is misleading. So let's get into it. So to start things off, and this has been accumulating news for a bit now. So we're going to start off in the beginning of April, okay? Chelsea will receive 22 million pounds for Nani if he were to win the Premier League with Arsenal. So in terms of finances, that's the little clause we got in there. Pretty neat if it happens, but well, the money is neat if it happens, but I don't want Arsenal to win, so fuck your money. Chelsea's search for a long-term front of shirt sponsor is apparently now underway as of April 19th, according to Lou Class. The club want 55 million pounds per year if they don't qualify for the UCL. They will target a deal of 65 million pounds per year if they qualify. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. It's like, you weren't even getting that much when we were in UCL this season. We weren't getting these offers. It's again, like, at what point will this ownership learn? But we continue on. Chelsea pitch owners. It's their pride, Chris. I agree. Chelsea pitch owners confirm no proposals for a new stadium have been submitted by the club. As a result, no vote has taken place and no plans have been blocked. So no progress in the stadium. I think this is ridiculous. And like people, like I said, Bluco out, whatever. You already know where I stand with this shit. This is also another damning thing about the stadium. Matt Law reported that Chelsea haven't had a 40K attendance yet this season. The last 40,000 attendance that we had was opening day 23-24 versus Liverpool when Maresca came in. They have not had 40K plus or have hit 40K since then. That's wild. So not only, okay, hold on. It's wild. It could also be the argument or the stick that the ownership are beating the fans with about as to why we don't need a bigger stadium, which also sucks. But we know why the seats haven't been filled. It's not because we don't have the fans. It's because the fans are getting more and more detested by what's happening at the club, which I agree with. We continue on. So that was damning. The fact that we don't have no progress on the stadium, and not even that, we're not even getting the most profit out of our stadium.
That's crazy. That isn't crazy, to be honest, though. Again, like I said this often. I say this often, right? The ticket prices definitely are playing a factor, low-key.
That's also true. Yeah.
I know you. I know a lot of guys that don't live in here are like, oh, that's really cheap, but like the area itself, if you
now that I've been there and I see I understand more why it's a bigger deal.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I definitely a little bit of a culture shift.
We made Marshall working class.
Ben Jacobs had the following to say on the record-breaking agent fees. The CFC hierarchy have certain favored agents to help them broker deals, even if that agent doesn't directly represent a client. If you're using a broker and the player agency, then there's a two-way payment, not one. Chelsea Chiefs handed themselves massive pay rises last season, despite suffering record losses. Executives took home nearly 80% more than the previous year, and directors enjoyed a hike of almost 60%, while other staff, including players, were paid only 6% more. The newly released accounts of Chelsea FC Holdings Limited, the immediate parent company of the football club, reveal key management personnel received a total of £10,593,000 in the 24-25 season campaign, a massive leap from the £5,893,000 the previous season, according to Dan King. I don't know who the fuck this guy is, so take this with a pinch of salt, to be honest. Oh, it's from The Sun. So, it's The Sun. Take it with a pinch of salt. All right? This could be completely overblown and over-exaggerated. So, that's just there. I'm putting that there. You guys do whatever you want with that information. Now, this is a little bit more reliable source. Now, this is the big bamba that everyone's going crazy about, and it just opened a whole can of worms since it's happened. And like I said, I've been saving these tweets for quite a while now. So this goes back from April. We're going to talk about Chelsea finances. I meant to talk about it a while. So let's get through this. So according to the Athletic article that we have here by Chris Weatherspoon, Chelsea's operating losses under Blueco have totaled 689 million over the last 3 years, or 629,000 pounds every single day. Under Blueco, Chelsea has spent 1.86 billion on the new signings, including more than 1 billion on players aged 24 and under. They have spent more on teenagers than the rest of the Big Six combined. The loss at 22 Holdco Limited, the uppermost UK registered company in the Blueco group, it's just Blueco to be fair, was even more stark. 700 million pounds. In its first 38 months of existence, losses at 22 Holdco were 1.852 billion. Blueco has taken on 1.390 billion in debt to fund its activities. If 22 Holdco were a single football club, it would be the most indebted on the planet. Chelsea's commercial income of 200.9 million trails its nearest Big Six rival by over 60 million and is more than 100 million behind the average of those five teams. Chelsea's wage bill reached 374 million pounds last season, accounting for 76% of the club's total revenue, the highest such ratio among Premier League's Big Six. A £500 million loan from Ares Management is currently accruing interest at a rate of 11.23% if left unpaid until 2033. The total bill is projected to balloon over 1.4 billion. So, a lot of this is true, and a lot of it's very confusing and very complicated. I don't get paid enough to investigate this. I don't study accounting. I don't claim to know accounting, but I claim to at least fact check a little bit and look into things, right? So we're going to continue on because there's more to this than meets the eye. We continue on. The companies who own Chelsea, where the money comes from, the huge interest costs not shown on the club's books, the 500 million loan due in 2033, operating a wage cost cut by 6 million pounds, what it means for UEFA rules, what it means for the transfers, player sales. Blueco has committed more than 4 billion on its Chelsea project in almost 4 years. It is the biggest deployment of private equity strategy the football club has ever seen. So, will it work? It's still in question. It's still being executed, right? So we're not done. In the event of a future sale where the group loses money on its investment, it is Clearlake, which has downside risk protection. The Bowley-led group absorbs the losses first. Why? Because Bowley and the other people in the consortium actually put down their own money, whereas Clear Lake borrowed money to pay for their shares of Blueco. Which, I mean, if you make your money back, it's a smart financial move. Use someone else's money. You have the money to pay them back if you need to, but use someone else's money to take a risk on the club, and you pay for the asset. It pays for itself. Then you use the winnings of that money to then go ahead and pay for whatever, right? So you're not risking your own money. You're risking someone else's money. Can someone please ban that chatter for spam, please? I appreciate it. Please, mods.
Oh, it's an
yeah,
awesome
it's really, really annoying.
Wait, timeout?
Yeah, timeout, please.
24 hours?
So yeah,
that'd do it.
we continue on. Blueco needs Chelsea and assets valued at 5.1 billion just to get their money back, according to The Athletic. There have been suggestions Blueco can, contrary to reports at the time of the takeover, sell Chelsea while retaining their 22 holdco shares. Sure. Yeah.
Wait,
They can just sell the club. That's what it basically said. They can
Yeah.
sell the club.
oh yeah, they're not selling.
Yeah. Just to reiterate, people, Blueco and Holdco are the same exact thing. Just to reiterate that. It's the same thing. It's very confusing, but Blueco and Holdco are the same thing. It's just a short holding company. Blueco is the holding company. Just to reiterate that, okay? So, because it gets confusing, people. A source with understanding of the matter told The Athletic that it is misleading of things and an anti-circumvention clause exists. In any case, the group's borrowings are secured against holdings in the club. Without those borrowings being repaid, which isn't happening anytime soon, Blueco would struggle to sell up even if they wanted to. Achieving a huge value increase is the only way Clear Lake, in particular, will be able to return value to their investors from the Blueco group. In the past 3 seasons, Chelsea's free cash flow, cash generated after covering operations costs and capital spending, which is that on transfers, was 131 billion in the red. In the past 3 seasons, okay, I understand. We continue on. The Athletic has been told that 1.7 billion post-takeover commitment has already been met, reflecting how more than that has flowed into the 22 holdco in the first 3 years. Even as the group has the funds to, and almost certainly will put more money in, there is no obligation for Blueco to provide more equity funding than has already been committed. So yeah, Blueco doesn't need to invest more money into Chelsea if they don't want to. So they've already hit their threshold that they need to hit in order to get that.
Kind
Yeah,
of
go ahead.
showing a little bit, Marshall. Like you see the
Talk to me.
last 2 seasons, especially like since Maresca joined us. His first season, he got what, like his best signing, Neto. We didn't really sign much, and then we kind of cheaped out on Manyan, like for the Club World Cup for 10 million. This season, we still signed a couple of players like Garnacho and Gittins, bit of a waste, but yeah, we're not spending more than like 150 million a summer, no more. I don't think really.
No. I don't think we're going to spend that much money, but they're still going to spend money. This is a rumor. Again, ladies and gents, take this with a pinch of salt. Apparently, a person close to the club said that Chelsea's owner, who committed to invest 1.75 billion into the club at the outset, still have 1.3 billion on hand. So take it with a pinch of salt. It just kind of alludes to the idea that they're going to spend more still. Go ahead, Ahmed.
Here, right? So I think, RSM made a point that, you remember how RSM was like,
Sure.
Because people are like, oh, because it's in the Blueco holding, they can sell Toast technically via like the Blueco thing. And RSM was like, that's not possible. And I agree with what you were saying there. I think it was clear that he was right in terms of like obviously not being able to make stuff like that happen. So
So we continue on, right? The over 4 billion committed to the project has been added to the borrowings that don't show in Chelsea's books, accruing interest at a significant rates. Chelsea have and this probably goes to show Chelsea's aspect where things are. It probably doesn't look good. I don't think Chelsea's books actually look good. I don't think we're in danger of administration at all. I don't think we're anywhere near it, but it goes to show it's been a bit of a struggle. And what happens when you try to, when things don't look good in the business, you cut costs where? In labor. So Chelsea have axed 3 first-team staff members, with former academy coach Ed Brand, one of those, made redundant. Sources have claimed Chelsea made cuts following the confirmation of huge losses outlined in the accounts for last season. Blues insiders say the redundancies, which have seen 2 other staff members alongside Brand depart, are part of the strategic development of the men's first-team setup. Bullshit. I think you guys are cutting corners and cutting your losses because the wage bill is going to be your biggest expenditure in the company, what you have to pay your employees. So people see that big chunk, it's like, hey, let's reduce that. What do? You fire staff. So, and to be fair, Blueco does have a lot of redundant staff. They do have a lot of people that get paid way too much to do absolutely fucking nothing.
You see that, like, the directors gave them 80% bonus, like,
it's bullshit.
Wages,
yeah.
And then you see this, so it just like...
It's damning. It's absolutely
I hate
disgusting.
Like that.
I do. Me too. Chris, I agree with you. I fucking despise this. They didn't deserve the raise, and now because they're getting a raise, other people are losing their jobs. Maybe those jobs didn't deserve to be there to begin with, right? But regardless, it's bullshit.
I don't know the insights about, but...
Yeah.
I think for me, fundamentally, it's clear that, listen, it's clear they're doing this for monetary reasons, which I've always expected since they've come in, by the way. That's something I've maintained since the beginning. Mm-hmm. But if you're gonna do it for monetary reasons, at least do it right, bro. That's my annoying thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we continue on. Chelsea's insiders say the club's finances have been stress tested, right? To ensure compliance with UEFA rules, even without Champions League qualification. The club would not consider taking a voluntary 1-year ban if competing in a lower tier European Chelsea would not consider taking a voluntary 1-year ban if only competing in a lower tier European competition. Latest accounts show 22 Holdco Limited, Blueco, carries 1.4 billion in debt, 794 million at 7% interest rate, and 596 million at 11.25% interest rate. Sources insist refinances plans are in place. The interest payments already factored into a long-term strategy. And the last one is essentially what I believe is the receipts here, which we'll try to read into it. It's a little difficult to follow, but yeah, Ahmed, I mean, there's a lot to digest here. I guess what's the one thing that stood out to you that you want to tackle in this?
I mean, there's a few things to start with. Obviously, can they sell the club? Obviously, that's the main thing I know a lot of people want to know about, right? And it's clear that they can't really sell it, essentially, because they would need to repay the finance and everything like that first. So essentially, even from that perspective, it's impossible for that to happen. Secondly, again, this money and loan stuff is not surprising to me in the slightest. I think all of us knew it's a private equity firm. This is the way they always work. This is nothing new to us at the end of the day. I think the issue has only become the amount of losses, the staggered amount, is where I think the issue is, in my personal opinion. I don't know about you.
The thing is, I understand why there's big losses. I think the idea is to take on and invest as much as you can and spend as much as you can in the beginning, and over the course of time, those losses, you'll recoup those losses and more. I think it's like a genuine just a stock strategy, right? An investment strategy where you pay a lot in the beginning, but over the course of time, that money comes back in full, and you get back more than what you put in, and eventually you pay off what you put in, and then you just reap profits from there. The same thing goes with, just because Blueco needed a loan or used a loan to acquire, or Clear Lake used a loan to acquire their shares of Blueco, doesn't mean that they're broke. It just means that they're not using their own money to take a risk on the asset, right? So they're basically protecting their own asset by taking someone else's money to try to grow that. And that's where Ares comes in, right? Ares is the contract, or the agreement with Ares is that we'll loan you this money. In return, we get first priority. What's the word I was looking for? Not first priority shares, but first priority equity. So it's not necessarily a loan. It's not a loan in the legal sense that people know what a loan is. A loan in the legal sense, people, is you borrow money from a bank, right? And legally, you have to pay whatever you pay for a house, right? You get a house for a loan, or you get a loan for a home. Then legally, you are now obligated to pay a certain mortgage rate and all that stuff. And then when you don't pay that mortgage rate, then you eventually get foreclosed. Yep. That's a loan. This, an illegal term, is not actually a loan. So we just get that out of the way, people. So anyone thinking that Aries management is going to foreclose on Chelsea, no. Because, one, and you guys probably didn't know this, and I'm telling you right now, you can Google this, you can find it yourself. Blue Co. can't make money off of Chelsea. Shock, horror. Here's why. The Premier League doesn't allow it. There's specifically rules in place for people who, I guess, the multi-club ownership and stuff, that money cannot funnel upwards to a mother company or whatever. Hence, Blue Co. I'm just going to mute you real quick.
Okay.
All right. Hence, Blue Co. aren't making money off of Chelsea. What they're promising, Aries, is that the value of Chelsea, or the value of Blue Co., will increase over time, and you'll have those shares. That'll be your shares. That's the money. And so that's the trade-off. They're not taking money from Chelsea. They're not allowed to, as part of the rules in the EPL. A lot of you probably didn't know that, and it's okay. A lot of us don't know that. I don't look into the finances of things. But when you do a quick little research, a quick little Google search, you find this information instead of just relying on people to tell it to you. So you could take my word for a pinch of salt. That's what I'm telling you, people. Look it up. Look it up. You think it's bullshit? Look it up. Look it up. So there could be a loophole, but that's conspiracy theory. There it is. It's conspiracy theory at that point. You can believe whatever you want. But the truth of the matter is, as the facts state, as we know it right now, Chelsea cannot give money towards Blue Co. It's not allowed by Premier League rules. Not only that, you can even look into it. Chelsea have their own bank. Chelsea have their own accountants, their own everything. It's its own separate entity. Now, Aries management. The deal is until 2033 that they have to pay it back. So if Igbali, Blue Co. decide we're not going to pay anything, you're not going to hear about administration or any foreclosure, as you want to call it, right? Until 2033 when it's due. So sorry to tell some of the people that want Blue Co. out, including myself. You got another 7 years before you start seeing any action on that. So those are just the two things I want to point out for you guys that maybe have been misled and misguided or misunderstood some of the information that's out there. Because it is very confusing. I'm not going to lie. And even this, when I'm looking in front of me, is still confusing to understand. But what I'm understanding is that right now we only just looked at the losses. And reminder, pre-tax losses and a lot of this stuff, that's before net. So when you take into account net, I want to see how much net loss or how much net profit we made. That's the part that matters, people. Now, according to this, I think gross profit is that net profit. If we've only made £10,000 in profit, or maybe 10 million in profit, according to this, and it could be 10 million because it's the added zeros to this, right? For simplicity's sake, then that's not really good profit. In my opinion. Yeah, you're in the green, sure, but that's not as profitable as you should be. Now, their statistics and what their data is saying is that we're making more marketing, we're investing in, like, they're prognosticated to make more money next season. Plus, the accounting doesn't account for what happened this season, right? So, Club World Cup money, coming back into Champions League, all that stuff, the games we played in Champions League. So, at the end of this season, we're expected to make twice the amount or maybe 3 times the amount of money we made last season. We'll see. Well, that will be stress tested, and we'll come to that truth if it is the truth. But yeah, people, it's just some few things to just point out that, like, it's not nearly as bad as it is, but it's still bad. It's bad. Don't get me wrong. It's bad, but it's extremely over-exaggerated. And there's a lot of misunderstandings about this whole Aries management and all that bullshit. Aries management only has to do with Blue Co. It has nothing to do with Chelsea. It's a separate thing. It's a separate thing. And if they don't pay back their money, I think they just gain Clear Lake's shares or something like that. They don't get any money out of it. So there's no administration. There's no bankruptcy. There's no debt. Like Blueco might be in debt, but Chelsea aren't. Or maybe they are in a little debt. But the Blueco debt has nothing to do with Chelsea. Just pointing it out. Blueco debt has to do with Blueco and everything they own under Chelsea. Women's team, the media side of things, the Strasbourg, the stadiums, the other assets, the commercial assets, all the deals that they have, all that shit. So just clearing the air on a lot of that stuff. I hope that made sense for a lot of people. I'm not misinforming, not a mutant. It just, listen, I'm, like Alexis said on his channel, I'm here to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I don't like Blueco. I would love to sit here and slander Blueco and talk shit about Blueco all day. Well, actually, no, I don't want to do that because I'd be miserable. But I have no problem doing it. But I don't need to lie and twist the truth to make a point. The facts speak for themselves. They're not running very well. Like, we don't need to over-exaggerate. Go ahead, Ahmed.
No one needs to hide. No one needs to hide.
Just don't need to hide. Yeah.
We're not being run well. I think the issue becomes where, again, we start hearing to Alex Jones conspiracy level theories here, where we're like, we can just sell. Okay, I think we can't sell. I think it's quite clear to us in our current state we're not going to be able to sell, right? But what is clear is clearly they're doing a bad job financially. That is, I think, the one thing we can all agree upon. That we can all agree upon here. I actually think it speaks volumes that they've not been able to fill up a 40k at Chelsea.
Yeah, that's wow.
Partially, I think, unfortunately, I know Marshall's a big Maresca fan. I do think Maresca's football, to an extent, you know, I always say this here, you know, fans will stay for Conte football, fans will stay even for Maresca football, or even like, what's his name that I forget his name right now, Mourinho football, right? If you're winning trophies, right, and you're winning stuff, Marshall, right, you go for the big ones, right? But fans will not essentially stay for that if, like, you know, you're just a middling top 4 club either. I think that's also like an honest description of that, and I think a lot of that also has to do with the fact that, you know, that a lot of these they obviously create a lot of new seats which are like really expensive. Some of them go for like 1.2k all the way to like 300k or like 1.3k to 400 pounds essentially. And those ones aren't always filled, because I'll be honest with you, even though yes, we are in a rich area of London, right? If the football's not great or the team is just a middling team, ain't nobody willing to pay 400 pounds to watch Chelsea versus let's say hypothetically speaking, Fulham. Who's gonna pay for that, man? Let's keep it real. No one's gonna pay for that. So I think from that perspective, there's one thing to talk about just from that. I think the second thing also is just that I think from their perspective, it's clear whatever that you're trying to do isn't working right now. Now we can, and you've had, I think, ample time. I think is the fair word to use, right? You've had ample time now. We've had a few years now to actually look and see and be like, okay, this is not working. What can we now do to fix this? Is the next question you have to ask yourself. And I think it's clear to me that question has not been, they've not asked themselves that question, or at least because if they had, then, you know, some of the signings that I've been hearing about, some of the stuff that we've heard about would not be happening, in my personal opinion. That's all.
Yeah. And listen, I want to just point this out. I'm not trying to discourage people from protesting. Protest if you want. I agree with the protests. I think it should happen. I'm just telling you guys, I don't need to over exaggerate what's going on and lie to people just to get a dunk on Blueco. They're doing it for me. That's like
the numbers don't lie. Like, again, the numbers don't lie. They're clearly not doing well. I think obviously it's clear that there needs to be some level of change of direction, right? And again, like, I think something that I saw, like, in some of the stuff that you're reading, are they gonna even, like, people saying they're gonna sell? Ain't nobody gonna buy this football club right now. 5.1 billion. Who's gonna buy it right now? We're not worth 5.1 billion, bro. We're probably worth 3.5, maybe 3.25 billion. That's a whole 1 billion and 1.5 billion left.
Yeah.
Okay, that is one aspect of it. Okay, people keep talking about the debt. I have no worries in terms of them being able to refinance their deals because they've done it. There's
Probably.
a private equity firm.
That's what these guys do all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
And if I hear Saudi again, yeah, I'm going to crash the fuck
I wish you
out,
didn't
bro.
say that now.
Because
I
do you
really
know
wish you
why?
didn't say that.
Do you know why, bro? Because these guys are literally fucking stop. Their last big thing was the HBO stuff that they sold to Paramount. They have run out of Live Golf. They are saying we are not buying anything anymore. We are not free money anymore. Why do Mandem keep thinking that we're gonna get brought by Saudi? Stop this dream. The Saudis are allegedly even about to leave Newcastle, Marshall. I actually should send you that podcast, by the way.
Deadass?
Deadass, bro. No joke.
Wow. Okay.
That's an ongoing rumor right now. So these guys could be leaving the Premier League as well. And people are talking about, what's it called? There's two. So again, this is why, in my personal opinion, yeah, these guys, when I talk about people being stupid, yeah, this is what I'm talking about, bro.
I honestly think, don't worry, Ahmed, I got it. Like, I honestly think that a lot of people, there's a lot of stupid people. Don't get me wrong, right? I'm not accusing anyone, not pointing fingers. I think there's a lot of people who just want to take people's words for what it means and just agree and believe everything it is because it's what they want to hear. And they don't question it ever. And I am totally against that. I do question a lot of things. I do trust people, but when there's something that I'm like, okay, is that actually true? Because this is too shitty to be true. When it comes to Blue Coat, some of it is actually true. But a lot of it's overblown. A lot of it genuinely is really, really overblown. And when these people that you trust, and this is something, a life lesson I want to just teach. Marshall is back, all right? Teacher Marshall. Class, listen up, all right? We're going to learn a valuable lesson in life, okay? Line up. Okay, hear me out. When someone lies to you or misinforms you, you should remember that whenever you interact with them going forward. Why? Because this is how you build trust, right? You build trust because you feel that the person, you can be okay with what they're saying, you agree with what they say, they're not going to lead you astray, and you're going to take their word for it. But they have your best intentions in mind. And I'm not saying people have bad intentions, right? That's how you build trust. When I'm time after time, I have a reputation. I have, like, my word means something to me. When I'm wrong and I have bad takes, I come here and I take accountability. Guys, I've had bad takes or whatever. Semenyo. People like to dunk on me because of the Semenyo thing, okay? But when I'm right about things, you guys then hold me to give me more credit and hold me to a better standard. When I do the little due diligence, all that stuff. So when you build a trust with someone and then you start taking them for their word and then you find out they lie to you or they misinformed you, that trust needs to be strained a little bit, doesn't it? Now you have to raise your eyebrow. You start to lose that integrity a bit. I try to keep my integrity as best as possible. But this is what I'm saying, people. Remember what you remember now. And then if it turns out to be right, cool, credible source, integrity maintained. When it turns out to be wrong, you got to hold those people accountable, including myself. So that's all it is. It's all about accountability. So I'm just trying to keep my integrity when it comes to this stuff. I'm not going to try to spread misinformation. I'm trying to rectify the amount of misinformation that's out there and telling you guys, and you guys do the information what you want. And if you don't believe it, like I said, it's a quick Google search. It took me 40 minutes before this show started to really look into that kind of stuff, and I found a lot of the answers I needed. Simple as. And in terms of Saudi, by the way.
Sorry, Marshall. Anywhere in the Middle East, we are not getting anything from them. They have lost quite a bit of money and quite a bit of oil infrastructure because of the Iran war.
Thank you. Just use your heads, people. Let's just use your heads.
Please, man. Please.
That's it is. We don't need to be lazy. We really don't need to be lazy because this laziness then leads to misinformation and the shit that you're seeing all over internet. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm actually getting tired of going on Twitter because there's a civil war happening on Twitter between the people who are staunchly Blue Co out and the people who Chelsea PR. Like, and it's just like, it's really annoying because on one side you're being lied to by Chelsea because they want you to hear certain things, they want you to be excited. We know that. But the other side, you're also being lied to for people who want Blue Co out because they're not telling you the whole truth. They just want you to be upset about Blueco. Even though some of the things they've done, you don't need to be more upset. It's there. There's a lot of bullshit there. So yes, we've taken big losses. I hope that translates into bigger income and bigger profit in the future. But right now, it doesn't look good. It's a strategy that investors use. Put big money into the beginning and then pay it back in full when you make the profit. It's just, and again, with Qatar and all that shit, look at where it's located. Look what's happening in world events right now. The money's not there. The money's not there. We're going to want about $5 billion for the club. The money's not there. And because of all the loans and all the interests and all the stuff that we're tied to, again, maybe Blueco can sell, but are they going to sell is always the question. Are they going to sell? Do what you want with the knowledge that Blueco might sell or Blueco can sell. Then ask yourself, okay, when's it going to happen? How is it going to happen? Stop being lazy, people. That's all I'm saying. Yes, sorry, Coco, today is a Casually Chelsea show. I know I haven't been consistent, but it is what it is. And yeah, I mean, you could say it's vague, sure, because it kind of goes towards mostly everything. And I'm not trying to start any drama on YouTube or beef with anyone, but all I'm saying is that stress test the things you know. Look into it yourself a little bit. Do some Google searching.
Argument, Marshall, yeah. When people say to me, Blueco can or cannot sell, I always ask them this question, and you've heard me say this before, okay?
Sure.
One of the options I keep hearing is about Chelsea going into administration, for example, right? Or like Blueco goes into administration, and then they have to sell off the Chelsea asset, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. I always come back, okay? Obviously, if that happens, again, I want to make a few arguments here. Another private equity firm probably will buy us, right? That's just objectively the fact. Objectively true. But it'll probably be another private equity firm.
Are we saying Blueco go in administration or Chelsea?
I mean Blueco, because it'll be the holding company that has to go to administration. Mm-hmm. And then obviously Chelsea wouldn't go to administration. It would mean that they would have to, the people they owe the money to will then basically get Blueco. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So essentially, if that's the case, right, is that a good thing for us? It's not going to be a good thing for us, right? Because we're with a private equity firm that wants to sell us off firstly, but at the same time, we need to start making some of its money back too, right? Mm-hmm. So there's that aspect.
I just looked at I just looked into it. If Blueco go into administration, Chelsea doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We won't go into
Chelsea's separate.
Mm-hmm. We're going to be the asset that they just get back as part of the administration thing. That's all it's going to be, mm-hmm. right? And again, I come back to the same argument I was just saying to everyone here. If that happens, the company that's getting us back would want us to sell, because the company that owes the money is giving them Chelsea FC. They want to make money off Chelsea FC, okay? Mm-hmm. So if you're already complaining about what's going to happen with Blueco, can you imagine what's going to happen if we go to actual administration? I know that probably won't happen. I'm saying it's not gonna happen, but I'm saying let's follow the logic. Okay, if you follow the logic, there's only more greed awaiting for you. Even when we get brought from that said greed, the guy that's gonna buy us again is gonna want us for financial reasons. There is no unicorn manager. I keep hearing we keep hearing Saudi, we keep hearing Russian, we can even hear not Russian, but we keep hearing Saudi or someone from the Middle East. The Premier League has made an active decision to make sure that they never repeat the same mistake they made with Roman Abramovich, by the way. Okay, they have made sure the Saudis, their last ownership with Newcastle, they're not bringing another Middle Eastern wealth fund to come and buy the club. Why are we acting like this, guys? Mm-hmm. Like, I just think for me, we are going for cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's the term I always like to use. That's what we're going for, bro. It's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, bro. Mm-hmm. And I feel like every week, Marshall, I get annoyed, bro, because I feel like every week we keep hearing the same thing.
The thing is,
and I get tired, bro.
I understand, and that's why I kind of wanted to address that, because it gets exhausting because there's a lot of misinformation out there in regards to it, and people don't want to believe that it's not as bad as it actually is. I mean, it's still bad. Don't get me wrong, but there's so much more to it. Like, people kind of want to hear what they want to hear, and I'm not about that. I didn't build this community on being about that. I built it on let's talk and have these debates and have these different ideas and discuss them and get to the solution. I'm not about feeding people's pipe dreams. I'm not about just lying to people or misleading people. I don't want to say it was malicious, but some people just don't understand what the fuck they're talking about, but pretend like they do. And it's just, again, you can read into it yourself. I'm looking into it just now even. And again, in order for Blue Co to go into administration, then they would need to be able to fail to pay its debt to Ares, which the debt isn't due until 2033. I don't know what to tell you, people. Like, that's the truth. It's there. That's how administration works. You need to become insolvent, meaning you're unable to pay your debt. That's when administration comes in. And Chelsea may be in debt right now, but they're not insolvent. So it's not going to happen next year. So remember when you say that, people in my chat. Remember, like, I'm telling you these things, and if you want to believe it or not, that's up to you. You can do your own research and find out. Just we have Google. You can ask it questions, and they'll spit you answers with sources, links, and stuff like that. It's not rocket science. So again, I'm not trying to be optimistic about it. Chelsea bullshit, Blue Co bullshit, Blue Co out. Like, it's still bad, but let's also be honest about it so that we can have an accurate assessment of what's going on. Speaking of the mess that this ownership have made, I'm going to go into the next thing, which is the state of affairs at Chelsea. Because it's not looking good, Chief. It's not looking good. Very bad. Very, very bad. So we go into the next part. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep going until these unworthy custodians are out of the football club. Hundreds of Chelsea supporters protested against Blue Co before their side lost 1-0 to Manchester United on Saturday. They were joined by around 30 Strasbourg fans who have demonstrated against Blue Co on multiple occasions. It sounds as though changes are coming, but will it be enough for the supporters to feel they have their club back? Probably not. And all it's going to take for a few supporters is 5 wins in a row. 5 wins in a row and be like, Chelsea's back. Hopefully that's not the case. They should be protesting, until things actually change and get better. David Cook from Not a Project FC, the organizer of Saturday evening's protest, which was a while ago, obviously. The best way to unify the fan base, really, I think at this point, is to push the message Blue Co out. I don't have any faith in the team at this point. I think they left us with no option. Chelsea fans have raised £1,500 in less than an hour for the protest group organizers to have a van with the words Blue Co out on it to drive around Wembley on Sunday. One unanimous supporter donated £200. So there is actually a Blue Co out van. It was outside of the FA Cup, the Wembley Stadium for the FA Cup game. A dressing room source has claimed that any attempt by the current Chelsea owners to read the riot act to the underperforming squad, as Abramovich did, would not guarantee the desired reaction from all the players. Some of them would just laugh, said the source, when asked how players would react to the rollicking from the owners. Maybe not in front of them, but away from them. They have heard and seen it all about stop supporting managers and doing this and doing that. It's got to the stage where some of them would just laugh. I would laugh at Iqbali's face too, to be fair. Not his face, but the way these players are laughing at him, right? A source close to the senior Chelsea players say there are clear divisions within the dressing room. Some players are focused purely on the club's success, while others are still frustrated by Enzo Maresca's departure and believe more should have stood against it. Different perspectives internally with the unity not fully there. Also, to add to this, Matt Law reiterates that I've been told if players downing tools was actually a reaction they felt to Maresca going. That there was a lot of upset within the squad about the way in which Maresca went, the timing of it, and the fact that they were unhappy with that. There was rationale within Blue Co that if they didn't appoint Rossinier, then he could have joined another Premier League club instead, and they had intelligence he could be Thomas Franks' successor at Tottenham. Fuck off, bro. This is bullshit. First of all, you own the guy's under contract with you. What fear did you have that he was going to go somewhere? You could stop it. He's got a contract. So this is bullshit. This is pure PR, right? So Some players were overheard complaining recently that Rossignol was not giving them enough days off. Sources have revealed that one senior player was unimpressed with what he heard and reminded them that the team was on a losing run, that this was not a time to be complaining about such. One source close to senior players said training sessions were not as good as those provided by another former coach, Mauricio Pochettino, as well as Enzo Maresca. Chelsea plan to play in Europe next season, even if they are offered the option of taking a one-year UEFA ban to avoid the future exclusion from Champions League. Damn. A source has revealed how some Chelsea players reacted to ownership stepping in with guidance, with parts of the squad reportedly dismissing it and even laughing privately. There is also belief among players who supported Liam Rossignol that some teammates downed tools under his management, pointing to clear division within the group. So these sporting directors tried to give the players guidance. It's funny. For Clear Lake, the Chelsea deal wasn't loved by some investors. Failure to qualify for Champions League for the third time in 4 seasons would have significant consequences. Not only would it reduce revenue by the estimated around 70 to 100 million, but it could also lead to the departure of some of the club's key players, according to Bloomberg. The Athletic also coming back here and reporting sources connected to senior players felt that the writing was on the wall when Liam Rossignol admitted to them in team meetings earlier this week that he was feeling vulnerable. Oh, wait. Nope. I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyways, yeah. Players pretty much downing tools from the moment Maresca left. Didn't respect Rossignol one bit. None of them said anything to Rossignol, to be fair, when he left. Yeah, no one has given him a message, goodbye, nothing. Like, players down tools, the club looking for another manager. You know, people are still protesting, or they're going to continue to protest as they should. The club is a mess. It really is a mess. This is a really, really bad year for Chelsea. Ahmed, I mean, is there any recovering from this at all?
I don't think we can recover from this. And yeah, was it called in many a way. I think maybe if we say you win the FA Cup, I think to some extent probably you can recover from our state. I'll be honest with you, because unfortunately at Chelsea, if you win a trophy, mate, the fans get really happy about that. So there's obviously it might not be realistic, but that'll probably be a good recovery, and you get Europa League football with that, right?
Wait, if we win the FA Cup, yeah.
Right, so
we're still a chance if we get. Okay, hold on. Let me just do this real quick, Ahmed, just so you know. Well, you do know, but it's for the chat. We are. Let's see. We are 4 points away from 6. If Aston Villa turn it around against Forest and then go on to win the Europa, then we would get that 6th spot and we would get back into Champions League. And we're 4 points away from that 6th spot. Bournemouth are currently sitting in that 6th spot.
Again, all I'm gonna say is that if you're, if after how bad the season has been, you still manage to somehow, by the grace of God, get under Callum McFarlane, somehow manage to get Champions League and FA Cup football, then it's gonna be kind of crazy, because essentially the club has met its own expectations, and then plus obviously from a fan perspective, it's been a bad season, but to still win an FA Cup and to get Champions League football, I actually think it would be crazier, bro.
If we win the FA Cup and get into UCL, is crazy to you?
It would be crazy, yeah. It would be like a
I can see it.
Comeback. It would be like a crazy comeback, essentially. No?
Yeah. That would. I mean, I wouldn't be happy with the season if that happens, even still. But like, it would be a big recovery.
For me, the season is essentially a disaster, right?
But yeah.
To still be able to get UCL football and then obviously FA Cup football is like a miraculous season that you've had. You've had a miraculous end of the season. I don't know.
No, CVH. This no. Not well. Yeah, Nottingham Forest win the Europa. They could win fucking. Oh Jesus Christ! You're right, CVH.
So you would have to hope that Aston Villa is able to beat them in their second leg. By the way.
Yeah. Because Aston Villa is still in the big 6 or the top 6.
Yeah, I remember Aston Villa right now is losing 1-0 to them on aggregate.
Yeah. And they just lost to Spurs today.
CV, well, obviously, if Aston Villa won the UCL, 6th place becomes the Champions League spot, essentially. So the hope, obviously, is from a fan perspective, is that as long as we win the what's it called? The as long as we win the FA Cup, as long as we make 6th place essentially, and then Aston Villa do the job, you obviously eat it in the game, innit?
So Coco, if it's any help, I'm time stamping these. You can go back and look at the finances portion of this stream, and I try to clear up as much as possible. I'll probably go into more detail in terms of finances stuff because I have a video plan for that. But I did a little research, and I know there's been a lot of contradicting information and a lot of over-the-top exaggeration, a lot of things that aren't exactly true. So yeah, but I do emphasize again, people. I'm doing this more so because I did it, and now I'm realizing how many things that are being said are actually like completely overblown because of the little fact checking I did. I'm emphasizing everyone in chat as well. Just look into things, Google search, all that stuff. You'll find your answers there. It's the same thing that a lot of these influencers and a lot of these accounts are doing. But they're not telling you the whole truth sometimes, or they probably don't understand certain things and terminology that's being said in some of the information that they're touting. But yeah, in terms of the club, like what you were saying, right? Obviously, for Blueco, it would be a huge success and a huge win if we end up winning the FA Cup and then getting ourselves back into UCL. But from a fan's perspective, like you said, Ahmed, still absolutely shit, disastrous, season, worst season than last season. I would even argue potentially worst season than the Poch season. Even though we're kind of finishing in the same spots.
The Poch season was always a free ride in my personal opinion. There's context to it too, right? Yeah. Like there's still like a young team. We certainly weren't. Our spine wasn't as developed as it is now. It's just a multitude of factors that I just feel like it could happen, but we will see. But the state of affairs at the club right now, people are upset. Players are upset. It's just it's nasty out there. I'm not gonna lie. Let's continue on because go ahead, Ahmed. Finish this off. I want to add one more thing, which is obviously the thing about if the owners decide to shout at them, they would laugh. So for me that's interesting because obviously I think in the modern, if you were to do that, if Roman Abramovich still was obviously at the football club, would they necessarily do that? I don't know. Maybe not. I'd probably say. I know people would be like, no way they would do that under Roman. But I'm like, guys, if they're not taking guys like Barley seriously, and listen, from what it seems like from Barley, he seems like a fucking prick. It looks like to me, with all due respect to obviously Barley himself.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He looks like he's got like a very he's got a bitch face, like essentially what I mean by that, those guys that you just look at and like, oh, they look like a dickhead or something. So resting dickhead faces or like a
resting bitch face is what it's called. RBF.
Right, so RBF. So I don't know, man. I just think for me, listen, I think in the modern age, you just got to make sure that your manager, your head coach is the one that just handles that sort of thing. That's what it is.
I'm not sugarcoating that, I'm and I'm just telling the truth. I'm just reading it as it's presented. I'm not sugarcoating. I don't need to sugarcoat it. It's bad. What I'm saying is bad enough. I just don't need to overdo it. I don't need to over-exaggerate and inflate the truth. I try to be honest on this platform, and that's what I'm being. But yeah, let's talk into, because now state of affairs also is we're without a manager, and that's another big factor. So let's get into the next thing, the manager discussion that's going on right now at Chelsea. There's a lot going on at Chelsea. Show is probably going to end in about 30 to an hour, give or take, depending on how we get through these or whatever happens. But yeah, people, let's talk about some of the things going on at Chelsea in regards to the manager position. And goddamn, there's rumors going around like wildfire. Okay, so Enzo Maresca's departure was a seismic blow to those players who had loved playing for him, particularly the club's Spanish-speaking contingent, probably because he spoke Spanish. Maresca was regularly seen hugging and joking with them, and that was not the same with Lee. It's just like, Maresca used to tuck me in at night, man. Maresca used to read me a story at me. Like, bro, chill the fuck out, bro. Like, Maresca wasn't like some god. The process of Chelsea's next manager has just started. They will meet with some agents agents and managers part of this process. The philosophy must be respected and have ambition to win. Chelsea also want to improve the quality of football. This is reiterated by David Ornstein. Chelsea's managerial search is at a very clear early stage, and is likely potential candidates are in jobs at the moment, so Chelsea want to show respect to them. When it comes to making the permanent appointment, Chelsea are going to take their time. There is no short list and there is no number one candidate at the moment, according to Sky Cava. And that was as of the 23rd of April. There will be tweaks to the approach. Chelsea do not intend to hire a manager without top-level experience again. Convincing big name to join could be a challenge, according to The Guardian. So that's Bert, what's his name? The Telegraph guy?
It can depend. It depends. It could be Matt Law or Jason Burke, or even Sam.
True.
Or
Jason Burke
and Matt Law, there's another guy as well that
Sam Wallace.
Sam Wallace, and there's another one. Even. There's even another guy.
Oh yeah, even then, look at that. The connection was complicated, and that was a crucial factor because when Chelsea saw some of the players were unhappy with Liam Senior, that was a crucial point to sack him. Sources close to several players have confirmed that Senior began to lose authority as he attempted to implement more of his own ideas, having initially leaned on Maresca's blueprint during his first 6 weeks in charge. Sources told ESPN that Rosignol was so hurt by some of the criticism that he privately challenged his detractors, with one admitting to being surprised that Chelsea head coach was allowing himself to be distracted by the noise. I think Paul Merson pointed that out, actually. And yeah, it just goes to show the guy was out of his depth. So it probably goes to show this is probably why we're getting briefings or PR that they're going to try to go for a Premier League or someone more experienced, because I feel like Maresca also had that issue with the press. He would get a little annoyed, and he would let it affect him. Rosignol was worse about it than he was. None of the 31-man squad has posted farewell messages to Liam Rosignol. Oh, they did?
Yes, Delap and Reece James did.
All right. Well, big up Reece and whatever Delap. Although Liam was regarded as a good person, the insider view is that he was fighting a losing battle with the players from the start because they viewed him as too inexperienced and felt he did not know how to manage top players. A source said the 41-year-old tried to be a friend to the player behind closed doors, was regarded as an awkward communicator, and held too many one-on-one meetings. This is weird, bro. This is just damning, bro. Leave the guy alone. Just let him live. You fucked him up already, man. Stop kicking him when he's down. Chelsea paid nearly 3 million euros in compensation to Strasbourg in January to sign Liam, and he will have to pay about 13 million to him to terminate his contract, which runs out until 2032. Chelsea's players felt Rosinior's successor needs to be a big character who can command the respect of the dressing room and keep strong egos in line, according to Jacob Steinberg. According to club sources, Chelsea are now looking at a list of around 7 to 8 names to take over permanently. The club do not want to rush this decision. Rosinior's successor will be named after the season has ended, according to The Athletic, as of the 29th of April. Now, we continue on. These are some of the choices that have been, or the rumors that have been going around, right? We'll start with Frank Lampard. Frank, I agree with Joe. Please don't take the job. So Frank should stay away from it. The temptation for Frank, because he loves the club, would be to come back and give it another whirl. Frank, please don't take the job. You don't deserve to be treated like this or scapegoated like this. I just don't. He doesn't deserve to be having to work with these guys and deal with all the bullshit that comes with the job. And I don't want him scapegoated. I don't even want him to pick up the phone, okay? The worst that can happen out of this is the PR comes out and Iqbali's like, yeah, Frank refuses to work for Chelsea, whatever the fuck.
Of Marshall glazing up Lampard like this, man. It's crazy.
I like Lampard, just not as a manager.
I never thought I'd see the day, man. This is game changing.
All right, well, you agree, right?
Listen, I think if they're serious and they're gonna give Lampard money to actually buy and get players in, I wouldn't mind personally. At this point, I'm willing to accept that. I can't lie to you. At this point, I'm genuinely willing to accept that premise.
I don't want him. Not because I feel like, okay, hear me out. I do feel like part of I think he's improved as a manager. So I don't think the football would be terrible. I'm not trying to pretend that it's going to be a repeat of after Tuchel or after Potter. I think we're in a better place as a club and how it's being run than we were back then, right? I just don't think it's enough to set up Lampard for success. I think it's set up for failure. And I just don't want to see Lampard put through failure again and being blamed for everything. Like these guys. Look at the PR that they're doing for Liam. They're going to do the same thing for fucking Lampard. I don't want to do that. It's fucking bad, bro. They're fucking roasting the guy and pretending like...
The problem is, they can't do that for guys like Lamps, unfortunately.
If they do, there will be riots, not protests, riots.
Unfortunately, they can't do that for a guy like Lamps. Lampard is a legend of the football club. That's the difference. That's why, for me, Loki, it might be a better option to actually bring him in. Yeah.
Listen, don't get offended just because I said something positive. Just because I said something positive doesn't mean it's currently positive. The way Blue Co is being run now is better than how it was being run under Potter. That's a fact. There's no. Am I saying anything wrong there, Ahmed?
It's been run really the same because we got Gittins and Garnacho in the window, so.
Yeah, but like before it was a circus with 40 plus players in the locker room, couldn't find anywhere. The amount of money we were fucking spending and paying for all these players with unknown like.
That perspective, you're correct. Yes.
Yeah. So again, I'm not saying it's being run well. I'm just saying it's being run better. When the bar's on the floor, it's being run better. Yeah. It's not worse than what it was. Like if it got worse from the Potter season, we wouldn't have even made UCL. So again, it's not what you want to hear. It's what you need to hear. It's factually what I'm saying is not wrong. That's being run better. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't. You want me to lie? Like, if the bar is in hell and now the bar is in like not so hell, it's technically better. It's being run better. So, it's like you just want me to shit on Blue Co the whole time. Like I don't need to. Like that's the thing. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. We continue on. John Terry also had some shit to say. He's worried about Chelsea and questions whether the club can still attract a top manager. I don't blame you. Also confirms he hasn't been asked to be part of the Callum interim staff despite working at the club part-time. Now, there might be multiple reasons about that. We'll go over that another time. But I think the main reason is that these ownership want nothing to do with Roman. I don't know why. It's really weird. It's stupid.
No, it's not.
Or even anything to the old Chelsea.
I honestly am of the viewpoint that they don't want John Terry for quite an easy, simple reason that all of us know about. And I think the sooner we realize that, the better.
Yeah. Edin Terzic will become the new Atletico Bilbao coach. Another name we were linked with. Now that's gone. He's going to be going to Atletico Bilbao. Xavi is another name that was being tossed around. Xavi is looking for a long-term project and wants to manage in the Premier League. Xavi has been analyzing teams and reflecting on his past during a break from football. Some whispers he has been a name discussed internally at Chelsea. I don't think it's going to happen. He has no ties to Chelsea. Why would he gonna come to Chelsea? It could maybe happen. There's always a possibility, but according to Max and his sources, there's whispers that the name is being touted, right? Chelsea are yet to make contact with Julian Nagelsmann. Representatives still hoped to present their project to him. As such, he remains a dream target rather than straightforward appointment, according to Graham Bailey. I think this has been debunked already. He's not going to join Chelsea. He's already rejected the idea of Chelsea before. The project isn't different than what it was when it was initially pitched to him. Sky Cava, one other name I'd like to throw in the mix as well. Somebody who's a Chelsea legend. He's managed Chelsea a few occasions before and who may be available this summer. Let's just throw his name in the mix as well. Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho is going to Real Madrid. Exactly. He's probably going to Real Madrid. I don't see, like I said, these guys don't want anything to do with Terry. They definitely don't want anything to do with Mourinho, especially with
Mourinho either. It's a smart decision not to bring Mourinho here.
That's different. What I want versus what's going to happen is different. I don't think it's going to happen. I wouldn't mind Mourinho, but that's a whole different discussion.
I mean, you may not want him, but I'm just going to be honest. I don't want him anywhere near this football.
That's fair.
I'm going to be honest.
That's fair. You're not the only one. Chelsea management wants to quickly look for a replacement for Liam Sr. The name that is currently in the lead is Felipe Luis. The former Brazilian fullback knows the London environment well, according to Ganlagari, which is, I guess, TV dello Sport. representative. I don't know if this is going to happen.
That is some great analysis right there. That's elite analysis.
Yeah, listen, man.
He knows the area so well, so therefore, that he's gonna change the game, guys. He's gonna do so well, man. He's gonna change the game, boys. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't mind Felipe Luis, but I heard Felipe Luis's football is just like Jose. It's just defense. Flamengo fans apparently claim the same thing. By the way, I'm going to mute you because of background noise, all right? It's okay. I already did it. All right, another one here that we're linked with is, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, by the way. Matthias Giassel has emerged.
I think the Al Ahly or the Al Hilal manager, I think he is.
Oh, God. Okay. Goddamn Graham Bailey. Okay. Yeah, Al Ahly, like you said, has emerged on the radar as the club continues. Sorry, guys. Their detailed search for a new manager. Groundwork has already been carried out. This highly rated German coach. Okay, guys. Cesc Fabregas is another one that's been a possibility. We will see if Chelsea decide to go all in for Cesc. But at the moment, my understanding is that Como are convinced they will continue with Fabregas. Como's feelings is that Cesc will be their manager next season. Sorry. Yeah, that's likely to happen because he is part of the ownership in Como. So Fabregas, according to Sky Cava, what I've been told, not by anybody at Chelsea, but when we've been talking about Fabregas, I think there's some kind of suggestion that maybe long-term the plan for him is to manage Arsenal one day. I'm not sure whether moving to Chelsea would be part of his career progression. Also, another manager linked to Arsenal. Arsenal's in a better position than us in terms of a project or whatever being run as a club. So Cesc could potentially go there as well. Can you guarantee to Porto fans that if you receive any strong offer from Chelsea, you will stay at Porto? And Francisco Ferrioli, another name linked to the Chelsea job, stated that yes, he strongly believes he's going to stay at Chelsea or at Porto. Probably good for him. No. Well, these names are a little boring. I'm not gonna lie to you, Coco. Actually, not. To be fair, some of these names aren't boring. I think it's just unreal. I just genuinely don't think we're gonna track high caliber.
That was always what was gonna happen. Unfortunately, the sooner the man them realize that, the better, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just tired because I haven't slept well at all this weekend. It's been very busy. That's why I'm tired. But no, not tired of talking to you guys in the chat. Not tired of doing the show. But in terms of the managerial discussion, yeah, these are a lot of names that were touted. I'm just going to take a quick opportunity here to just roll into the next part, which is the favorites. And it looks like the one winning this race is Iraola. Let's get into it. So the next Chelsea head coach will have to work with the sporting directors and will be willing to be a part of the decision-making process rather than leading it. This is the area in which Iraola scores highly, given that he has stated numerous occasions that he has nothing to do with the recruitment and the running of Bournemouth and has never once complained about losing star players, according to Matt Law. Chelsea feel there is a higher pool of managers available this time around. The likes of Iraola, Glasner, Silva, and Alonso would be available. I think they will aim high, according to Sky Sports News. Jack Rosser also saying here that Chelsea are playing the talks of the trio of managers who have been added to the shortlist: Xabi Alonso, Marco Silva, and Andoni Iraola. Chelsea are in no rush to make snap decisions. According to Alex Crook from TalkSport, we've been told that Chelsea reached out yesterday to agent of Xabi Alonso. It seems like Slot will stay at Liverpool, so Chelsea might see an opening here with Alonso. Now, take it with a pinch of salt, not the most credible source, right? We continue on. Fabrizio saying that exclusive, Andoni Iraola is keen on the possibility of becoming new Chelsea manager or Chelsea coach. He is available this summer. Chelsea linked Andoni Iraola has emerged as the strongest candidate to rival Michael Carrick for the Manchester United job next season as permanent head coach, according to The Telegraph. Continuing further from Jay Burt as well, Andoni Iraola has come out as a favorite for the United job. Iraola, along with Marco Silva and Xabi Alonso, is also among the managers Chelsea are making checks on. So, hey, you guys better hope and pray that it's Xabi Alonso. I don't think it will be, but I'm just saying, I'm going to hope and pray too. Andoni Iraola would need to be convinced of taking the Chelsea job would be worth as well. How far we have fallen. This is so sad, bro.
Why are we surprised by this? I'm not surprised by that at all.
It's not surprising. It's just disappointing.
This is the Chelsea era, man. This is Chelsea.
Yeah, man. This is the Blue Co era, the CFC London era, Ahmed.
There we go, man. The sooner we realize that, the better.
There we land, Ahmed. Andoni Iraola is attracted by living in London, which has encouraged Crystal Palace to try to persuade him, according to the Telegraph as well. And then lastly, from Fabrizio, Andoni Iraola would love to continue in the Premier League and love the possibility to coach a top English team. So a dream to continue in the Premier League. This is why he's linked to Chelsea. But nothing is decided at Chelsea or advance. So assuming these are our three options, because I've not heard too much on Marco Silva, but apparently he's on the short list. Silva, Iraola, Xabi Alonso. Who do you choose, Ahmed Abdi?
You said Silva, Iraola, and Alonso, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably going to be Alonso, I'll be honest with you. You need Alonso in the team.
Yeah. Now, my worry with Alonso, because I agree, of all those three options, my first choice is going to be Alonso. And I really, really hope we can make it work. I really hope somehow, some way, we actually convince this guy, and it'll like, because I'll give Blue Co this, right? Because I don't like to give them much credit these days, but I'll give them this credit. At least they're honest about what the fuck the project is. Because Pochettino came out and said, nope, they never lied to me. They told me what the project is. Maresca's not said he was lied to. So at least they're honest about the project. It's just these managers, once they get some level of success or taste some level of like, okay, I'm getting somewhere, they feel like they get more privileges, and that's just not how it works at Blue Co, and I wish that changes. But yeah, I hope Xabi Alonso is the one that comes here. I hope he works well with the ownership because I need him to stay at the job, and I hope he can make it work. That's all. I gotta hope. I gotta hope and hope and hope, because as long as these directors are here, I don't really have much hope that things are going to change or things are going to go in a good direction.
Everything for you right now is just hopium.
It's hopium to the max, man. Overdosing on that hopium. Pause. That's not a pause either. I'm tired, people. But yeah, if it's not Marcos Alonso, which... not Marcos Alonso, Xabi Alonso. Like I said, people sleep deprived. If it's not Xabi Alonso, then my second choice would probably be Marco Silva. It does worry me, the style that Iraola plays. Semenyo's come out and saying how difficult the training is in terms of like the strain it puts on the players. We already have injury-prone players as it is. Some of them leaving, some of them staying. I don't think Lavia is going to leave in the summer. If Iraola comes in, I'm thinking Lavia is going to be
is just too cheap.
Injured for the rest of the season.
Unfortunately, Lavia is too cheap of a player for them to let go of. They can still take another chance on Lavia, unfortunately.
Exactly. They can take a chance to up his value. If he happens to stay fit and continue the season without injury, majority of the games. Kind of like Fofana. To be fair, it's gone under the radar. Fofana's been, for the most part, 90% fit for the entirety of the season. But yeah, you guys know where I'm getting at. So yeah, I wouldn't want Iraola. Hey, I can't, this is hard. Big up for staying this long and staying to the one segment I told you to stay to. So big up to you, bro. I can't wait for my name, in frame of the Hey, I hope you get it, man. We all had dreams. This dude is so close to Iraola. This is not a good sign. This dude is so close to Iraola. This is not a good sign. What do you mean by that? But yeah, I don't want Iraola. I'll be honest. Maybe it works out. Maybe he proves us wrong. But I'm not out of Xabi Alonso. I'm not a fan of the list of managers that we have so far. I didn't think they would be a good list anyways, but it is what it is. It's better than Gary O'Neill being on that list. The managers are that girl who thinks they can change the bad boyfriend if I showed them they're worth it. Okay, so Xabi Alonso might have a savior complex. Fair enough. What about the honeybee guy? Who's the honeybee guy? Is there a honeybee guy you're aware of?
Honey?
Honeybee manager? Some honeybee guy?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. TA, you're going to have to elaborate on that. But yeah, Iraola looks like he's the favorite right now. That's because there's a lot of chat about him. I hope that's not the case, but I mean, you never know. You never know with this team, with these owners. I hope it's Xabi Alonso. and we move. Because I think Xabi Alonso football, it's adaptable. I think he's shown he could be a really good manager or coach at Leverkusen. It didn't work out at Real Madrid, sure. I think that's more to do with the personalities like Vinicius and Mbappe than here at Chelsea. And to be fair, talking to Alexis about this, Ahmed, I do think Xabi Alonso, if he were to come to Chelsea and he comes into the dressing room, I think he does gain the respect of all the players.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Respect hype, man. These guys don't deserve any respect, man. Can I be honest? Like, I don't really feel like these guys.
Do you feel like that's merited?
What? That they don't deserve respect?
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's actually merited, low-key.
For the players, or okay? Because for a second I thought you meant when I asked you that, I thought you meant that these players don't respect anyone, and I think some of the players can probably have that attitude, but not all of them. But that's not what you asked. But
No. I'm just saying in general, they don't need to respect anyone. I don't care if you respect me or not. If you're the manager, I think you have to look at the way what's happened with all these previous managers. These players are clearly an issue.
Oh, honus.
Right? And I think
That's
the other problem also is that, like, if you're a manager of the football club, if you've seen the stuff they've done with Rosinia, some of the way they were looking at him, if you're a manager and you hear that stuff, and that stuff is essentially pretty reliable from the sources it's coming from, from your perspective, you have to be like, I'm going to have to be a dickhead here, honestly. If I want them to work, I can't be friendly with them, I can't buddy cop with them, it's time to be a dickhead.
That's what I'm saying. I agree. I genuinely don't know how agents. The only way I can see how Chelsea is still an attractive job, besides the fact that it's Chelsea Football Club, right? The name still holds weight despite everything that's happened in the last 4 years. There's a lot of good history, more than the last 4 years, that still, are recognized by Chelsea, right? And it wasn't even that long ago that, we did win the Club World Cup. So it's not like our legacy, our name, Chelsea, is completely tarnished. Yeah, it's going through the mud, guys. I understand that. That's 100% true. Bluco have done a shit job these last 4 years in terms of keeping the respect of the name Chelsea, right? But outside of the fact that there's history behind the name Chelsea, the only attractive or the only allure that I see for any manager to come to Chelsea is stepping stone. That's the way I see it. I come in here, I take Chelsea, I do something with them, and once I am tired of working with these owners and these directors, once I've had enough, once I've built my reputation enough like Maresca did, cool. On to Barcelona, on to Real Madrid, on to Inter, Napoli, you name the club, whatever. A better club than us. Arsenal or City or whatever. United, Liverpool. That's the other way I see it. It could be a stepping stone move. But I don't know. I hope it's Xabi Alonso, people, but I don't think it's going to be Xabi Alonso. And part of me doesn't even think it's going to be Iraola. It might not even be any of these managers that we say. I'm inclined to think it might be Marco Silva, but yeah, it'll be what it is. But it could even be Gary O'Neill, but that's a big risk with Gary O'Neill. Chelsea will be a stepping stone club. Yeah. That is dark.
I think the problem right now of Chelsea is that no one knows what they want to do. No one knows what's going on, and so as such, everything right now is just hidden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. There's going to be demands when these coaches come into this team, and they're going to ask for things, and exactly that is what they're doing. Stepping Stone Club. I can't. This is hard. I'm just gonna call you I can't, bro. Your name is too long.
Let's call him Shard.
Shard?
Yeah, that's
Well, his name is I can't. This is hard. Not I can't. But I Shard.
You can just call him Hard then.
Oh man, bruh. Ahmed, I'm gonna leave it to you because there's more I can discuss, but we're about to hit 3 hours, and I could just leave it for Wednesday's show. Genuinely. And we could talk about more stuff. We could talk more about transfers then. Or we could touch 2 or 3 more topics in regards to transfers, and then we can call it a day.
Is there a point to even talk about transfers? I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a few.
I'm just talking about even from like a Chelsea perspective. Is there any point to talk about transfers when we don't know what the manager is, we don't know what these guys want, we don't know what Europe is, or anything like that. So generally, there's actually no reason for us to even.
To be fair, you're actually right, because until we know where we stand in terms of where we're going to be in Europa or UCL, that's going to drastically change the transfer strategy.
Pretty much, bro.
Yeah. So there you go, people. We're going to pretty much, unless we need to talk about anything more about the potential managers. Actually, I'll ask you this. Of the managers that we named, Ahmed, if Xabi Alonso, who's the second choice? What's your 3 you would tolerate?
Who was after Iraola?
Based on who
was
was
another guy? It was Iraola and who else?
Marco Silva.
I probably would put Marco Silva third. I think the thing is, it didn't work out for him at Everton. At Fulham, his side essentially just a glorified mid-table side. He never really takes. Go ahead.
Did he didn't promote Fulham back from League One? That was Scott Parker, right?
Scott Parker did that. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right, continue.
So,
I'm sorry.
No, but like, and I think just for me in general, I feel like with Marco Silva, I think if he went to like a mid-table club, low-key, I think he'd do well. But I just think that step up is not for him, honestly.
Do you think that for, let's just say for Iraola and Silva, right? Do you think that step up from Fulham or Bournemouth to Chelsea is going to be a big step too?
I think for Silva, we've seen Everton. Remember when he went to Everton after he had that crazy period at Watford, right? And it clearly failed. Like it didn't work out for him in that period. I think Iraola is just the unknown at this point. The thing is, when you're at Bournemouth, bro, you can talk to these players however you want. You can shout at these players however you want. But are you still going to be able to do that at Chelsea? That's the question. Are these guys going to respect you enough to be able to, allow you to do what you need to do to get these guys to the best way they see fit? The thing with Maresca is that because Maresca had kind of, I think what helped him at the very least was that some of these guys had played for him already. They knew the type of guy that he was. And so when it comes to management, at least, it's easier approach. They know you're a good manager. They played with you before in under 60s, whatever level it is. And so the situation there's a much more of a fluid event. Does that make sense, Marshall?
I think, yes, that does make sense perfectly, obviously. I think what helps Maresca is also the bare basics of, when like someone is waffling, but you could tell they're waffling, right? Not because of you might know about the subject, but because like the way they seem to talk, like they give you this energy of like, dude, I don't think you actually know what the fuck you're talking. Like, okay, I shouldn't say this now because he's under scrutiny, break time right now. Russell Brand, the way Russell Brand talks, bro.
Fucking hell.
You say a whole lot of fluff, but I could tell you're talking you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're just saying a lot of things that sound very complex and you know what I'm saying?
All that complex, all that stuff.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're just a nonce, allegedly.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, you're just another
allegedly.
There's no allegedly, bro. I think that's pretty true. He's come out and said it himself. Yeah, sure. Yeah, allegedly. Yeah. But like, I know that's a horrible example, but you know what I'm saying? I think with Liam, what happened with Liam, like, I think Liam is a good coach, right? But like he's got to do it with kids, like Strasbourg, where like there's not expectations or anything. When you're at Chelsea, when you're talking to someone who is a World Cup winner, when you're talking to someone who's a Euros winner, when you're talking to someone who's won a UCL, all this shit, like, brother, they're gonna be able to sniff out if you're the real deal or not. Marco Silva, I feel like, can come into a room and actually command respect. Because he knows what he's talking about. His ideas translate. He's not using big LinkedIn words and stuff. Like the football translate, the facts are there. It makes sense to the players. I think that's a big factor too. So I think Marco Silva, until things go bad, I think in the beginning, Marco Silva will actually like get some respect. I think even Iraola too, to an extent. Like they're actually coaches. They've lost to these coaches before. Marco Silva put us in a spliff last season. If you remember, you know, and this season too, like almost did too. But he seems like a guy that does command respect.
I don't think that was the problem. I think for me, the thing that hurt Rosenior is that I think the players.
It was just Maresca in general leaving.
The players, I think for me, Rosenior in particular, the players I think knew he was a puppet manager, and and I think also the other problem, unfortunately, is that there was a lot of player power. It seems they've I
don't like that, by the way.
And that I always say is a big problem, bro.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Listen, it's one of the things that hurt us in our prime, and it's one of the things that also it's hurting us right now. Okay, and it's funny because a lot of these players don't even get that much money, bro. I just make that funny joke, bro.
No, it annoys me too, because like I understand, and I was talking to Alexis about this. I still disagree with him in this sense. Like, I understand that Enzo Fernandez, for example, he's like the captain. Everyone looks up to him and all this and that. Sure, right? But I don't think he's in a position where he can just down tools because he doesn't like the manager. You shouldn't have that power. And it's not because I don't think you're a good player. Like, yeah, you won the World Cup. You know what it's like to win and stuff. But for me, if anyone deserves that player power, it's Reece. Why? Because what have you done for Chelsea? That's what I would like. If these players have won more for the club, if these players didn't let us down multiple times under different coaches, then the idea of player power and downing tools to Liam Rossinier, I wouldn't be that opposed to it. But you've not done anything to really deserve to have this attitude for Chelsea, other than win the Club World Cup and Conference League.
Do you know what the problem is, Marshall? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the problem when we talk about guys like Enzo Fernandez, the guy that I think a lot of the time people talk about Enzo because he's getting GNA. Unfortunately, that is the case with a lot of people. You hear a lot of people make. But I think we need to separate that, actually, in my personal opinion, from what the players actually achieve.
The performances.
Right? Yeah. The performances have not been good for us, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? And there is also, I think the other problem also is the fact that I think the way the club treats you also affects the way the manager is able to treat you as well at the end of the day, unfortunately, too. Right? I use a great example in the fact that, if you remember under Ancelotti, right? Ancelotti is a great manager. Like, he understood, if I wanted to get these guys to be the best, I had to get these guys on my side. But with Rosenior, he's playing with young guys, bro. These are unexperienced guys.
Yeah.
These aren't guys that are at the top level, bro. A lot of our players, are not haven't got that relatively necessary experience or quality. So I don't know where this level of what's it called of high level of like, you know, I'm the best, I'm this and that has come from objectively. I don't understand it, bro.
And like, that's what I mean.
And what makes it funny is that, at least from what it seems like with Reece James seems to be one of those guys where if he did something like that, I could hear it. I would hear it, actually. But
he's done shit for the club.
Like, but I don't see that from him. I don't hear anything about that from his perspective.
As far as I'm aware, remember that tweet I read before where like an inside source claiming that the players were complaining about not getting enough rest day under Rosenior, and another player complaining like, you shouldn't complain, we're in a losing streak right now, we need to work harder.
Yeah,
I think that was probably Reece. That's probably Reece.
Do you remember, bro? I spoke to you about that the other day, right? And when I hear stuff like that, do you see the stuff about even recently that came out, which is like the FAR has given guys a day off, the players feel like there's less, that they have like less pressure on the show. That is a bad sign for me, because that's telling me the players we have are not mentally solid enough to handle pressure. This is already confirming, by the way, the things that you and I would have debates about under even Maresca, right? Where when it's the big games, they can get themselves up for it. But when it's a game that's a bit against a lower side or like a mid-table side, bro, they don't have the mental capacity to be able to go up for it and actually get the game.
And honestly,
that worries me, by the way, low-key, Marshall. I think
it does worry me.
It worries me because
we have too many of those in the team, to be fair.
Too many in the team, and we still bring the young players, bro. We're not even, they keep talking about experience, but if you keep adding more young players into the team, that is only going to exacerbate the situation, bro.
No, that's what I mean. And it's like, that's why this transfer window, and I feel like I said this last year too, but it's every season. This transfer window is going to be huge. We'll talk about the transfers obviously in another show, but like this transfer window is going to make or break any remaining trust that anyone has on Blue Co. and with the trajectory this club is going to. Because at the end of this window, it will tell us whether these guys really, really have changed and really, really have learned from this season and really, really are actually aspiring to actually be successful and win for Chelsea. Or it'll tell us if it's just another money grab and make it clear as day. Even though to me it's already clear as day. This is a big money grab to just, again, they can't make money off of Chelsea, but what they can do is increase the value of Chelsea, which increases the assets that Blue Co has, and then increases the value of Blue Co as a company and their shares, right? So that's how it translates to Blue Co. But in terms of Chelsea itself, like, it will just reinforce the idea that a lot of fans already have, including myself, you know, who's the other one? Not a Mutant, and all these guys like that. This is just a money laundering scheme that is essentially just a way to make profit off of players, even though it's indirect profit. But regardless, like, just grow the value of the club, commercialize the team, and all this stuff, and just buy for sell and invest. Like, it'll reinforce that idea that that's what the club has become. And I do think it has to an extent, but they can change things around this summer window if they really, really care. And it will be exposed, everything. This is a big window. And where I was going with that, because I did go on a tangent, my bad. Where I was going at is that the good thing about what could potentially happen this summer transfer window is that some of those players that you're talking about that have this attitude but haven't done fuck all for Chelsea might actually leave. And that includes Enzo Fernandez. And that includes Wesley Fofana, who, when he gets subbed off, throwing a little tantrum, goes straight down the tunnel, doesn't even acknowledge Liam. Like, who the fuck are you, Wes, to actually react that way? You literally haven't done anything for Chelsea. You haven't even won a Club World Cup or a Carabao Cup. Chelsea, you weren't even part of the team that got us top 4. You haven't done anything in your international career to even have this attitude to begin with. So you could go as well. Like, all these players with attitudes, thinking that they can just down tools because they think they're better than what they actually are. This is a reality check. What happens when the wheels fall off and you guys are the ones in charge? Because let's be honest, Callum is also just a placeholder. He's not calling the shots. He's probably taking tactics from Reece and Enzo and like, what do you guys want to do? Want to play Enzo Maresca ball? Then play Maresca ball. If you guys think this is you're going to win and how we get reaction, then I'll just do the best to do to coach, right? Then the rest of the season is on you guys. If you don't make Europe, it's on you guys. You led us to this. So I think there's accountability to take from a lot of people, and a lot of these players need to go because I want the likes of Caicedo here. I want the likes of Reece here, Levi Colwill, that attitude of we're going to do our best no matter what. Big game, small game, doesn't matter. We'll always step up to the occasion. Not just when the light is shining at its hardest and everyone's watching. It's bullshit, man. Anything else, Simon, before we wrap it up?
There's nothing really to say. Obviously, I know you've got a game against Forest tomorrow. Forest will probably play a week.
10 a.m. my time, by the way, so I'm going to have to work from home.
Is that 8 p.m.? It's 8 p.m. right for me, I'm assuming. Then, yeah,
no, I think it's... No. It's 10 a.m. my time, so that's going to be 3 p.m. your time.
They're not playing. Oh, yeah, it's bank holiday tomorrow, isn't it? I forgot. Hey, man, beer's out, lad. Let's go. Woo!
Oh, I could drink beer tomorrow at 10 a.m.
That's what I'm doing, mate. You know, hey, let's go.
All right. When my bosses ask why I showed up to work drunk, I'll be like, hey, listen, man, it's a bank holiday.
Hey, that's like it's bank holiday, man. You know
what bank holiday is it? What bank holiday is it?
It's just normal. This is our first bank holiday because we always have it the first week of May.
What's it called, though?
Bank holiday. Listen, this is May Day.
It's just called bank holiday?
Yeah, May Day. It's called May Day, technically. That's what it's called.
May Day. Okay. Well, people, there you go. Tomorrow's a bank
holiday. Yeah, it's at 3 p.m. That's crazy, bro. Oh,
it's so dumb for me because what I'm going to have to probably do is work what I can from home, watch the game, leave to go do some things, and then come back home. So I'll get everything ready, and then I'll come back to do a stream around 5 p.m., and then we'll raid out to American Waffle afterwards. So, yes, people, that's the plan. Oh, wow, speaking of raid out, that's hilarious. Big up, Footy Judge Mo. Thank you so much for the raid. As I was about to actually end the show, Thank you, Mo, for the raid. Big up to everyone coming from Footy Judge Mo's raid. Hopefully, I'm a familiar face to some of you. Welcome back to Casually FC. Good to see you guys again. And if you haven't already done so, if you are new to me or the content, my name is Marshall DBX. This is Casually FC. I'm with the Bridge Nation, Ahmed. And yeah, we're wrapping up the show. But if you haven't done so already, people, as I'm about to wrap up the show and actually say what I need to say, be sure, ladies and gents, to subscribe. Please, everyone coming in from the Footy Judge Mo raid and everyone who's been here hanging out and listening to us in the background, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 4K. We could potentially hit it in today's stream, so hopefully you guys can help me out by doing that, please, because it'd be tremendous to hit that 4K mark. I finally can stop seeing 3 whatever next to my name, and it could just be a solid 4. And then from there, ladies and gents, we're trying to hit 5K. There's a big reveal on this channel when we hit 5K. I've been holding on to this surprise for a while now, so please, people, let me be able to just tell you guys what it is. But we have to hit 5K, all right? So yeah, be sure to subscribe to the channel, please, people. It helps out the channel tremendously. Oh yeah, tomorrow is also May the 4th, so it is a holiday. May the 4th be with all of you tomorrow. Or if you're in the UK right now, I think it's currently May 4th, so May the 4th be with everyone in the UK.
May the 4th be with you, but don't know if you can say that these days, man.
Wait, why? Oh, you know what? Tell me backstage. Tell me backstage.
No, but that's
We'll
crazy.
see. Okay.
It's literally, it honestly is
The franchise is dead?
The franchise is technically dead. The fan base is the fan base. There's no fan base more toxic than the Star Wars fan base, bro. Like,
are you serious?
So divided.
Oh yeah, you're in the spaces actually technically because you're big on
I
that.
feel like genuinely, like if you talk about like comic book movie and everything like that, it's basically that. I was saying this the other day actually. Fun fact, Marshall. We can't end the show over here. I actually feel like the stuff that occurred with like the comic book backlash stuff with a lot of the anti-woke and grifter stuff, guys. Like it actually has killed like comic book movies and everything, bro. They barely come out now. It barely comes out now. It feels like it's too hot to touch now if people try to even do anything. Like it's actually low-key kind of crazy. I was like, damn. Cause like I used to remember like there were like 6-7 shows ready for me like back in 2020. I was like, yo, I'm ready to lock into watch some good stuff, right? These days they're incredible and like what invincible. Like the voice is about to end. Like what? I've only got those two basically. Like I know like there's the Supergirl movie coming out and like I think Clayface, and that's it, bro. I don't know what's going on, bro.
Hey, it's just people try to change a lot and they try to get political with everything, and people just don't like politics being shoved in their face. Or views like that. It's just hey, we're going through a weird phase in humanity, and we're going through a weird phase at Chelsea as well. So also, some of these people in the chat are going through a weird phase because they just discovered this channel. Big up! So be sure to smash up the like button once again if you came here from Footy Judge Mo's raid. So big up Footy Judge Mo, thank you. Round of applause for everyone in the chat. Big up to everyone, including I Can and Not a Mutant, because we were able to discuss. No one lost their shit. We didn't have to throw insults. Yes, it got a little annoying at times, but that's what it is. That's all debate is. It's all this platform is, to discuss these things and come to different conclusions and answers. But hey, at the end of the day, we will know who lied. But yeah, smash up the like button, people, please. Let's try to get to 50 likes. We're at 34, so there's over 100 of you now. So if you get to 50 likes, I'll be happy as a clam. We're gonna raid out to our boy here, Chelsea Perspective, because I know some of you guys are Chelsea fans and want to keep talking about Chelsea and saying what you want to say. So go ahead, copy and paste that raid message. Let Chelsea Perspective know where you're coming from. And yeah, guys, we'll be back again tomorrow, obviously, to react to the game. And then I'm hoping tomorrow also will be American Waffle. I'm hoping Wednesday we'll be able to do another Casually Chelsea show. Even though I know it's the call-in show, so I might have to postpone the call-in show, or may have to do a Thursday show. So we'll see. I'll play it by ear, people. So yeah, keep posted for more content. Memberships, by the way, I nearly forgot. There's 4 different tiers of memberships, ladies and gents. All of it helps out the channel, even the lowest tier. If you can spare any help, that'd be great. It keeps the lights on. It helps support the channel. Like I said, all of it makes a big difference. So if you're a proper casual and higher tier member, which I believe is the second or third tier. It might be the third tier. Actually, no, it might be the second tier. You get shout outs at the end of every show, and that's going to go out to, let me pull up the list real quick, people. No, it's second tier. So that's going to go out to Adrian, EE, and Lanre Sadiq. Big up for the support as usual, and big up to everyone else who's also a casual member. Use those emojis in the chat. It does help out tremendously. They're fun to have, and I want to get more emojis as well. That comes with more memberships, people. Hype up the video if you're watching this in the future. Leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Check your facts. Don't fucking take everyone's just word for gospel. And football knowledge, set 1976, it's okay. We don't care either. But all right, ladies and gents, smash up the like, subscribe. We'll see you over on Chelsea Perspective. Have a wonderful night. Stay casual. And wait, I have to set an outro video. I'm going to do this just for old time's sake. Good night, guys. Pajita and sleep.
Jerk off?
Oh, but he didn't sleep.
Yeah, and sleep.